You don't need a killer dragon for me. Ooh, I don't need no fairy tale.
We pick up today with you
With
guys.
an in-depth discussion of albedo
Indeed.
and why you would make your roof white.
Exactly. So, we resume today at the top of the spiral staircase guarded by the large stone statues. You guys were just about to head down into the archives, which is the restricted section of the university.
Oh yeah. Yay.
We had just talked to the person, to the strig that was up front.
Excellent. Yes.
Yes, I do remember that.
You had just gotten to the bottom and you spoke to the strig. Is that right?
Yeah. Oh.
Did I show
Yep,
you
she did.
guys? I showed you a picture of
He
him,
must
right?
be the dean's new pets or whatever the fuck. Excellent.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I showed you guys a picture of him. This is him.
Oh. Oh shit. So this could be Ugla's grandpa
Could be.
So
or
cute.
dad. I guess Ugla's 50.
Yeah,
How old is Strig live?
he's an older Swift strig. I don't know, probably 50 or 60. Most of them don't live that long.
No, I think they were 90.
Are they 90? Most races in this.
Yeah, Ugla's not like ancient. He's just old.
Well,
I remember a lot of the races die pretty early in this world.
Yeah.
Humblewood.
I should add this to my notes.
what do I want?
Yes.
Right.
Detail.
The notes.
Probably question mark.
The notes. So we'll repeat the scene of you guys coming downstairs so we can resume from there. As you reach the bottom of the long and winding staircase, you emerge into a room filled with rows upon rows of large stone shelves, each containing several hundred books. Magical braziers illuminate this area, but their light strains to reach every nook between the large shelves. A swift strig sits reading behind a desk in the center of the room. As you approach, he puts down his book and eyes you curiously. Ah! That was the one sent by the dean, I presume. Good evening.
Yes, yes, we are the researchers. We were sent down here and across the school to investigate certain happenings. Do you happen to know where we could find well, first of all, I suppose we should ask you a couple of questions.
What's your name?
I'm glad you asked. I am Mordain Swiftgale, and I am the head librarian of the archive. If it's to be found here, I will certainly be able to help you, and I will make sure you don't, end up in anywhere dangerous, as there are many ancient tomes left by magicians of great power.
I look forward to excellent reading while we're here conducting our studies. I appreciate everything you've offered. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, first of all. And I suppose we should probably some of the various topics that we want to investigate to see what information is available here. In your vast collection that is absolutely, I'm sure, the premier here in Aldo.
Yes. In all of the Humblewood.
Yes. In all of the Humblewood, thank you. If you could be so kind as to help direct us to some of the places we need to go, I believe that'll help us with our investigations that we wish to pursue.
Yes, well, the dean sent a note, said you had interests, I guess, for your research in the fire corruption and the scorched grove. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. That is one of the various topics that we're very interested in. It has some modern relevance, and there's some interesting machinations. We're hoping that a little bit of history might help us understand.
Well, we have a great many tomes on several topics that might be related here. I mean, the Scorched Grove itself, the great calamity that begat the Scorched Grove within the wood. And I think we definitely have several books on elementals as well. The creatures that originally came out of the grove and were burning up the countryside.
Yes, your guidance in finding these terms would be most helpful to us. And I'm sure that there are some additional topics, some other minor investigations and studies that will help us move along some of our other research we're conducting on behalf of uh, the avium here, and also some of our minute esoteric personal interests.
Indeed. I also just am curious. Is there a list of people that come in and out of here? Do you have to sign anything saying that you were in here, or
Not just to come and go, but on the rare occasion that something is taken out of the archive, we would certainly have paperwork. But that is almost expressly forbidden. Only tenured professors can check out content from the archives, and only within their areas of research. And even then, some of our most dangerous tomes are still not allowed to leave the premise.
Understood.
definitely makes sense. I guess my first question to you would be: have you noticed anyone in particular who has been frequenting this area that is unusual or
Unusual?
stand out?
Hmm. No, I can't
Let's
say
ask
so.
a different question. Has anyone else come here interested in the same topics we have?
Oh,
Indeed.
Well, no, I can't say anything anyone comes to mind. Some professors have been here, but that's pretty common. And
Has
I-
anybody come by trying to figure out what causes a curse like this? Ugla takes off his glove and holds up his black hand.
Oh, darkening of the skin and no other major visible features, I suppose. No, I can't say so, but there are several of our professors who have dealt with and might have knowledge of curses, and who's to say that they didn't do some reading about it while they were here? We don't keep a record of everything everyone touches unless it's actually going to leave the premises.
Has
Understood.
anybody recently been taking anything out of here?
No, nothing's been taken out. Well, there was one book that was taken recently, but it was returned, though it has since gone missing. But who would suspect a tenured professor of such a thing? No, that would be ridiculous. Surely it's been misplaced.
Assuredly so, but still, we need to know what the name of the book is in case we happen upon it in our investigation.
Oh, yes, of course.
In our research.
Yes, in your research, yes. Well, the tome was called. Currently scrolling several pages. Just a moment.
Idiot's Guide to Burning Down the Forest.
No. Oh yes, here it is in my notes. I don't think it's related to your research at all, but it just for the sake of clarity, it was called Necronomicon Ex Corvus.
I'm rolling an Arcana check.
And who last checked that out?
It would be Professor Nightseed. Though she was the one who returned it, it only went missing afterwards. Lycus, you've never heard of the book, but the word Necronomicon is pretty telling about its content.
Right.
Yep.
Well, that is quite interesting. What does Professor Nightseed teach?
Theoretical necromancy.
Wonderful. I suppose we'll pay her a visit once we're done with our happenings down here.
Oh, I should hope that necromancy is not of relevance to your research. She is largely, again, only theoretical, and her only practical usages are in the control of the servitor skeletons around. Though I suppose you may not have seen them. They are usually in disguise.
Well,
As small children?
Yes, sometimes.
I knew there's something off about that boy. Do they have limited ranges of places they can go?
Oh yes, they are usually limited to a floor, and can only perform a select small number of functions.
Hmm.
Huh.
There are no children in the avium, mind you.
Sense, but
Well, that is the most fascinating contraption that has been the professor has created. Anyway, I believe it's time for us to go ahead and move forward with our research. Would you be so kind as to show us to the sections for the
there would be far too many tomes for that. Allow me to call some assistance. And he
thank you very much.
claps his hands, and 4 young children that look to be about 6 years old come toddling up. Now, I'm afraid that the archives are quite old and quite thorough on many topics, by which to say that there might be dozens of books on a singular topic, and they might be a little repetitive. So I'm afraid that it will probably take quite some time to do this research. So we spoke of several topics: the Scorched Grove, the Calamity, and elementals. Are these 3 of interest to anyone in particular? How would you like to divvy up these tasks?
I'll take the if you have any books on this may fall under some of the dangerous knowledge that we previously discussed. Wait, actually, I haven't made the appropriate checks for that. Never mind.
Okay.
Any books on the recent operations of the Tinders, by chance?
Recent histories are not really archive material unless they surround some great event.
I suppose just the general history of the Tinder, or maybe the Tinders during the Great Calamity. I suppose that would be a good.
I imagine they would be of note in there. The Tenders of the Scorched Grove were established after the Calamity, after all.
So that'll probably get me on the path I'm looking for.
All right, one for the Calamity. Anyone else? Well, what are you looking for?
I mean, I will look at any of them if you all have a preference. I mean, feel free to pick and choose what you would like, and I will take the leftovers.
Well, we were curious about any religious orders that lie north of the grove.
What? North of the Grove?
Yeah, evidently there's a temple way up there somewhere.
Oh, that's north of Alderhart. That's a separate matter entirely. Don't worry about that.
Okay. All
There
right.
could be something here about it.
Then maybe also any information on fire corrupted creatures as well that you guys
yes.
may possess.
I don't think we have any tomes on the corruption itself. I mean, that's kind of the point of your research, isn't it? It's more.
Yes.
We have more knowledge around it, I suppose, or historic events that might have begotten the corruption.
Okay.
Do you, by chance, have any materials on the events held in Winnowing Reach?
Isn't that some small podunk town in the west?
It is. But it's
Winnowing Reach. Never heard of it.
I'll wait for him to be like, I already got a couple books on that from the central library.
He thinks, I can't recall any events of worth or note in the Reach. I don't think they would have arrived in the archives. Perhaps upstairs.
Perhaps something about, what is it? The Keepers of the Flame? Something like that? Have you ever heard of that?
That sounds like a tender. The Scorched Grove Tenders. That could be another name for them, I guess.
The Keepers of the Fire?
I suppose.
Damn it.
We also get a. I'm trying to think of how to ask this one. Would there be any historical information on the Tenders of Alderhart at the time, predicating the Great Calamity?
So, like a history of Tenders?
Or do you have any journals from any notable tenders?
Yes, that would be quite helpful.
I will look. Again, most of the things in the calamity are either arcane or dangerous in nature. So if it was not some great event, merely histories would not have been on our shelves.
Okay.
All right, so I still didn't actually get many answers. Dungeon is looking at the Great Calamity. Rezik, what are you doing?
I'm here to help read.
So you will help someone. Okay.
Yes.
I already got Ugla. Genra, what are you doing?
I'm trying to think how to describe what she would want to look up. So she's trying to think of anything and everything relating to the whole Pontus thing. So maybe just historic events of massive memory loss, or records.
Maybe spells that cause memory loss.
Yeah, something around that.
So you want to do research on memory loss in any form?
Yes, and also, I was trying to think of what.
A significant mass memory loss of if there's any notable
Like
Yeah.
event in history that has
mass amnesia events.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Let's just
Or
start
illusion.
there. She can always ask more questions
Sure.
later.
All right.
So.
Lycus, what are you doing?
He is all right. So, mass amnesia. Ugla. What exactly is Ugla looking?
Ugla's researching the Great Calamity. The
He's trying
events.
to
Great
figure out
Calamity,
the
okay.
visual and that,
Right. The
or
events that
any
created this
parallels it might have
Um,
had to what we're seeing.
All right, and the they don't. He said they don't have any books on the fire corrupt.
Right, because that is, I mean, presumably, if you guys think historically, the fire corruption is a relatively new topic. There have always been fire creatures and like then like burning of trees and whatnot, but an infection of some kind called the fire corruption is not a historic event.
Right. Is there any evidence? Elementals is going to be a topic of interest, particularly for this, because if there's some sort of essence that's come from elementals that's causing the infection, that's going to be something notable. He's going to Lycus would be interested in.
Okay.
You could try to
I
research
will.
our
I
curse.
will make one check with you, Randy, and I'll do it
Yes.
in a secret thing.
All right.
Because Ugla did mention one dream that now might have relevance.
Indeed.
Yeah. Rezik,
And that
you
would
want
be
to
an
try and
arcana.
research
That would be
curse?
an arcana check, by the way.
All right. DM me what you're trying to learn.
Okay.
Okay. What was the question? Or what, Dungeon, you were saying
And
something?
and he'll do his research on the elementals while this other stuff's going on.
Okay. Dungeon, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was just Ugla leaning off to the side to Rezik. Do you want to try and find something about our mutual curse?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. As
And
well as
dig
could,
up something that causes the old black hands.
yeah. Just well, I'm not sure what kind of curse we would be looking up though.
Maybe just symptoms and effects in general to try and narrow it down. If this is something common. Yeah, he'll turn to
I'm gonna say,
the
or I could go talk to.
to one of the professors. That's true.
Well, I was gonna say to the guy that probably knows more about it than us, but isn't really a wouldn't be studying curses, but I would assume would know more about it than us. At least unless they have like a block like Lily did.
Oh,
Yeah,
Morty.
yeah, Morty.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, yeah,
so
it might be a good idea to track him down.
All right, so let's start on our research. Ugla, you were learning about the Great Calamity. Let's see. When you ask about the right calamity, several of the small children toddle off into various sections, and he directs you to a large table. We have a great many books on this particular subject. I fear you're going to be here a long while. And he just kind of gestures. There's your giant table. There are like big, medium, small tables. He gives you a big one, suspecting you're going to get a shitload of books.
All right. Yeah, he's going to try and focus in on any sort of magic used in the Great Calamity and the role of the Tinders in the Great Calamity.
Okay. 10, 15 minutes later, the book is in fact covered in book, or the table is covered in books. There are 20, 30 volumes here. You will, to garner any useful information, you will spend multiple days doing this research.
Okay.
If there's not a lot for Genra, I just figured she would kind of help piggyback off of that.
Right, and
keep
that's
people locally.
that's something that is allowable. It will just discover that on a person by person basis.
Douglas kind of excited by the challenge.
Nice.
Reading that book about Altus the other night was he hadn't cracked a book in a good long time. It reminds him of the old days when he had time to just sit around and read and stuff. So he's looking forward to a research challenge. It's been a good bet.
Alrighty, so Rezik, you were going to take on the task of trying to research the Ashen Hands.
Yes.
All right. Describe your desired information to me in character.
Okay. So he's going to be, and this is in character, a ashened appendage that ends up spreading slowly, but does not have any rhyme or reason to the spreading that we're aware of, as well as night terrors and
Sleepwalking.
sleepwalking or
Oh, the
um,
teeth.
doing
Sorry.
magic while sleeping.
All right. I mean, sleepwalking is a well-known condition. I would say that's anything special, but the others, they do seem a bit concerning. I suppose you might be interested in curses here, or do you think that
Yeah.
maybe some sort of enchantment?
Both. It could be either. I would suspect that it's a curse though,
All right, all right.
but I don't want to rule out an enchantment per se.
Well, let's start with curses. I mean, that would be the smaller field of study. You'll have less books, I guess. If you want to look at wayward enchantment, you'll be here for weeks.
Okay.
So, so please take a small table off to the side here. He sends off one small child and comes back a few minutes later with 6 or 7 large volumes, mostly surrounding like historic curses and their effects on people or places or history itself.
Okay.
This will take one full day to glean any potentially useful information.
Okay.
Genra, you were looking for information that I have already forgotten.
No problem. She was looking for mass amnesia.
Right. Yes, amnesia. Okay. So you're looking at like historic magical events, or potentially just like spell
Spells.
knowledge on how that could be done. Okay. So you need spells from the whatever the modified memory school is. Enchantment. Oh, good. So you need memory related enchantment knowledge and historic events involving magic and memory loss. Okay.
Yeah.
He sends you off to a medium table, largely because he expects you're going to have to do a lot of digging when it comes to enchantment magic. But
Yeah.
there's a relatively small number of historic tomes. You could
Question.
spend
Go ahead.
you could spend 1 or 2 days on this table, depending on how hard you want to look.
Okay. Question: when you're saying modified memory, it makes me think of kind of what I was also trying to figure out. So, amongst these types of topics, would I also be able to look at sort of a reverse situation where somebody embedded a memory that didn't actually happen in someone? Does that make sense?
Yes, and you can find a multitude of examples of that because that's an actual spell called Modify Memory.
Perfect. I
Um,
would like to look into events where that has occurred and then also just try to understand that
Okay.
spell or whatever.
All right, so you'll have to spend your full 2 days here, but yes, you can
That's
find plenty of examples of that.
awesome.
All right, Lycus, what were you looking for on the surface?
Oh no, he's
Elementals?
he's sincerely looking at the elementals,
Right.
reading through information on elementals. Um,
The other thing,
but
though,
he will.
are you asking about that, or are you trying to look on your own?
He You know what? He would probably legitimately
Okay, asking character then.
ask. Um. So does did you respond to the?
I said okay. Now that I know what you're looking for, but if you
That
if
was
you if
that.
you would, but
Go ahead.
I was saying if you would ask in person, then I need you to do it because I need to know the words you say to the NPC.
Well, but does that name? Does all that information? Does he know anything about that? I just need to know.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I missed that. That does he remember? No, no. This is wildly in the unknown territories. Like you've heard of or know stories of or could imagine stories of people or things dressed in that way, but it doesn't like ring a bell as an actual title or moniker in your
Okay.
mind.
He'll go up to the. If that's the case, then we're gonna walk straight forward.
All right. Are you planning on doing this in front of your party or after they've been assigned their tables?
After most people have.
Okay.
He'll go up to the. He'll. All right. So I have an additional question I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
Hopefully, um, someone told me not long ago about a dream of some sort of significance they had,
Oh,
where they.
dreams are not necessarily my specialty, but if it rings any historic or magical bells, I will help.
Yes, yes, yes. I was.
Alternatively, just a moment. Alternatively, we do have a professor who specializes in oraculary teachings.
Oh, excellent. Which professor is that?
Um, hold on. It's in Randy's book. Just a moment. Rivane, Professor Rivane.
Speak with Professor Rivane um, after we conclude some initial research down here. Um, do you have anything, any books that may describe a faceless king cloaked in a yellow?
Oh, um, roll insight.
Okay. Wow.
Alrighty. You see his facial features shift to like visible or like attempted to hide. He attempts to hide concern, but fails because you're so insightful. He's I do recognize that description, but I fear that it is only because of how long I've been down here and how many of the unsavory texts I have reviewed. I certainly no one living or as young as you fine folks would be interested in that sort of thing. I think you should banish this from your mind. It's certainly not relevant to your research. Focus on the problems you can solve.
I intend to. Um, and I appreciate the warning. Um, it has caused it it may have caused some sort of affliction. So I would like to, upon this person, I would like to know a little bit more.
I see. Well, I cannot allow this. I'm afraid. This certainly falls within, as previously mentioned, the more dangerous sections of our tomes. I would not wish reading anything of that sort upon a child such as yourself.
I fully understand. I appreciate your guidance and insight. That is regretful. I was hoping to help them with it, but alas. Thank you very much.
Certainly. You'll find your table over there with the elementals knowledge. Okay.
If I may, why would you recommend that if I attempt to follow this elsewhere, what dangers might I face?
Oh, son, the people who the creatures who spoke or wrote of encountering a being such as you describe could no longer claim the right to be called people, if you catch my drift.
And what exactly happened to them?
Madness, self-harm, self-immolation, all manner of unspeakable things.
Did any of them start to go bald
Bald?
from head to
Um, I can't say I know, but that seems like a minor feature by comparison. Maybe it wouldn't have even
I
appeared
totally
in an
understand.
accounting.
I'm just trying to understand what are some of the leading indicators.
I understand your desire, but I mean, comparing baldness to, like hysteria of the mind, they're not even in the same realm.
I thank you. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead with my
All right.
investigation of the.
I mean, this is certainly something you could pursue, but it would be without the help of the librarians.
It and based on my insight roll, do I have the impression that going after that would result in some negative consequence after you said no?
If you were caught, absolutely.
So I should have just asked for forgiveness later.
Oh, I mean, you still can. Like either way, because remember that he was nice about it, but he was basically saying, "Tell me what you want to learn, and we will get you books. We don't want you wandering around here." So either way, for asking for forgiveness later, you'd be in trouble.
Okay.
For reference, elemental knowledge is also a 2-day study.
That's fine. He'll go ahead and go through it.
Okay. Alrighty, so we begin our study montage. Backing
Is
up.
there music for that?
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na.
Push it to the limit.
Let me see if I've got any relevant music for a study montage. There we go. Quiet,
Where's the headbanger music at?
serene here within the archives. Okay, let's see, who had the shortest discoveries?
I think that would be Ugla.
Yeah, I think so as well.
It was 2 days.
Are you also 2 days?
Probably mine.
Everyone's 2 days then.
Yeah.
No, mine was a day.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Although you did say 1 to 2 days, so maybe Ugla finds it extra fast.
It's not about extra fast. It's about how much knowledge you want.
No? Well,
right,
I mean, if he's just trying to draw general parallels between current happenings and happenings of the Great Calamity, he should be able to stumble upon that pretty quickly, right?
Depends whether you get lucky and find the right book. There's
That's true.
a bunch of books. You could pick the right one last.
Yeah.
All right. So since everyone is 2 days, because it sounded like Genro was going to go do the full research as well, then we'll start with Rezik, who is the only 1-dayer. Rezik, roll investigation.
Sweet.
You find many, or you don't find, they give you many tomes on curses of either arcane or historic significance. You skim through, and what you really discover is that you're not a big reader. You've read plenty in your life, but never like 8 hours at a stretch. And after like the first 90 minutes, you start to get real antsy. You get up, you walk around, you start flipping, you like start skimming book to book to book to book. And at the end of your day of research, all you've really discovered is that, wow, people do a lot of really fucked up shit. Like you've read about some truly horrific curses, none of which are yours though.
Okay. Seeing as I'm not a big reader, I don't think taking another day to look would help.
Probably not.
So,
you can
that'd
lend
be-
your next day to someone else and assist them in their studies, or do something else
No.
inside the avium. But
I'm
we'll
gonna
get
do
there
something else.
tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, day 1 of studies on the Calamity. Roll investigation.
Wait, is this the Calamity or the Great Calamity?
The Great Calamity. There's
There's
only
been
been
two.
there's only been one Calamity in the Humblewood.
I don't know. The Great Calamity was terrible. The Calamity, that was like, I don't know, Ugla pouring water in his cereal instead of milk.
I
That's probably the-
see.
sorry, roll investigate. You said?
Investigation, yes.
Oh, minus
All right.
2.
Ugla also not a big reader. He grew up noble and was forced to read so much that he developed a hatred for it. He's one of those kids.
He feels a restlessness. He feels a call to action to
Right.
go out and do and not sit around and learn.
Indeed. So during your first day, you have no luck. You do learn the history of the Calamity itself, which is, the creation of the Scorched Grove, the great elemental creature, though there's not a lot of details in these books about the elemental. The burning of the trees, which is, like historically, and this in character too, is very difficult. This is a well moisturized area. It's hard to burn these huge trees in any capacity, especially all the way to the ground.
Yeah. It's like trying to burn a redwood.
Right. All right. First day, no luck for Ugla. Genra, day 1, hunting for knowledge on amnesia and memory modification. Which one would you start with?
Let's go memory modification.
Okay. The first tome they hand you then is just a big spell book. It's at first it's like makes sense. There's a couple spells you recognize, some that they share between bards and wizards. And then it starts to get just like wildly complicated. The formulas in here are mind-boggling, and it gives you a headache after a while. When one of the when Mordane's passing by, he says, "Oh, that's the modify memory spell, if that's the one you're looking for." And you look at it, and it's like the worst calculus on the planet. You have no fucking clue what's on this page. But the short description that it gives you is just reshaping or modifying a single creature's memory of a recent event. And it's kind of what you're looking for, but it's a single person, nowhere near a mass scale. It's not something that can be done as some sort of like large ritual.
Got it. But it could be done to 4 people.
Oh, absolutely, individually.
Yeah, individually. Got it. So what you're saying is it would have to be done by 4 different people to those 4 people. Is that what you're saying?
No. One person could do it to 4 people, but they'd have to do it
That's what I was
one at a time.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. Could I, like, how complicated would it be for me to write down the actual spell?
Copying the
copy it.
spell,
Yeah.
in a non-magical sense, it would just take you 4 or 5 hours, but it could be done.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, she's gonna table that idea
All right.
and then move on to the next one.
Okay. All right. So you move on to more broad memory magics, and then tomorrow we'll do amnesia. Roll investigation. Good.
God.
Everyone's really good at finding stuff in
Wow.
books these days. Genra also
Oh, man.
not a huge reader. She likes music and noise, and she's a good listener. Not much on the reading though. And after the confusion and the headache that modified memory gave you, you kind of force yourself to plow through the rest of these and just get a worse headache as the day goes on. Eventually, you decide that you either have to stop or you're going to gouge your own eyes out. So it's time for a rest.
Mhm.
All right, Lycus on elementals.
Lycus, you better roll well.
I believe in you.
Ugla,
And you guys
confident that Lycus and Genra would roll well.
you jinxed it. You can't say anything.
So Lycus is definitely a reader. There's no way I can say he's not. So the Lycus is just unlucky today. He picks all the wrong elemental books. You find a lot of information about smaller elementals, about what comprises their form, where they're from, how they're supposed to reside on the elemental planes of existence, and bringing them to the material plane, i.e., the Humblewood, usually requires a magician of varying strengths, a wizard of power of some kind. And then you can extrapolate some knowledge with your kind of minor information you already know about the calamity, that an elemental of the size necessary to cause the great calamity would have to fall into the category known as elder elementals, which means that they are incredibly large, and just by existing in a place, they reshape the land around them to suit their needs. But beyond that, you keep picking up books that repeat information, and you're gonna have to dig through the rest of them tomorrow.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, your 8 hours of research comes to a close. At one point, some of the small children came by with little snacks, so like a half a roll of bread apiece for you to keep your energy up. Some coffee, just to anything you might need that's simple fare that won't damage any books. And your day comes to a close. Night's falling outside, and Mordain comes by the table area and we'll be closing the archive shortly. I hope you've had success in your research, but if not, you can certainly return tomorrow.
Ugla is asleep on his books.
I had to remember which I had to do the other hand.
Yeah.
Yes, I will certainly be returning tomorrow.
I'll be back tomorrow as well.
Okay. Well, good evening to all of you.
Ugla, wake up. We must go back now. It's closing here.
Time for bed.
Yes.
It's closing
Okay.
time.
Really productive day. I learned so much.
Man.
Yes, I don't think any of us have learned anything other than that we are very bad at reading and retaining materials.
Oh, that's not good. I ended up slacking, but I was really hoping. But I did it because I just knew that you and Lycus would be able to figure it out.
Oh,
Yes.
gee, thanks.
I've
Sorry,
screwed
I
up.
got sidetracked reading.
We weren't that
reading.
good.
I'm just
It's fine. There's always tomorrow. Perhaps we'll be more productive then.
I'll have to look up ranger spells because I might, depending on how long it takes them to do that, I might also go learn a new spell. Take a whole day.
We always have tomorrow, Randy. It's dream time.
Everything's fine. You're gonna be fine. Everything's okay.
Keep up.
Keep up. All right, so you guys, you have the evening to yourselves. As guest researchers, you have free reign of the dining halls. So if you'd like to go get food there, you can. It's all free and all of good quality. If there are any nightly activities you feel the need to take care of, now's the time.
Where do the tenured professors typically take their meals?
There is a kitchen for the tenured staff that will deliver food, or they have a communal area as well.
Would we have access to that communal area?
I believe not. If I remember correctly, you have access to everything basically but the upper staff areas.
Yes, and we can audit classes, but we cannot like basically directly go to them outside of their normal working.
Right.
Right.
Unless we
Okay.
can make a case to the dean.
Right.
With his new knowledge that the tiny Corvum are in fact spooky skeleton people, Uga's gonna head back and attempt a conversation with what he thought was a small child at their dormitory.
Now, Resic, learning that, feels no guilt towards being an asshole to that little kid.
That's still fucked up.
I mean, it
Not
still
real.
seemed
Doesn't matter.
He colored, okay?
it still
He
seemed
colored.
even if it is not alive, it's still intelligent.
Yeah, but it didn't mean I should feel bad.
Still cute.
Dead things don't have rights. Fuck him.
Oh.
Oh, it doesn't mean I'm going to start being an asshole to him now. It's just now we know what they're there for.
Now my
You didn't
assholery
just
is
start.
justified.
No, I'm not saying the asshole is justified. I just no longer feel bad about it.
Oh my god. Poor little boy.
He was going to sit down and try and teach him to read.
Did you watch Westworld? You can shoot those robots because they're just robots, right?
Right.
Haha. Yeah,
It's
but
all
if you don't
fun
know
and
the
games. All fun and games till he starts asking what door, and then it's all over from there.
what door?
What
What?
door?
Doesn't look like any. Can you go grab me some more apple juice? Apple juice doesn't look like anything to me. It's sitting right over there. I don't know what you're
I
talking
didn't
about.
see anything.
I'll comprehend
The jug of apple juice. Blah blah blah. God damn it, Bernard.
So,
Wait. I'll figure it out. Never mind.
so
Yeah, he wants to go back and talk to the kid.
all four of you return to your apartment.
Yes.
Yeah, fine.
Well, Genra is gonna go grab some food
Okay.
and then go back.
So if we're walking together, I'll go during the stop and chat. It's gonna just be like, so do y'all think we should go try and seek out Morty or one of the professors with knowledge of curses, since we weren't able to turn up anything about our hands?
That's
Since-
what I
Yes,
might do tomorrow.
I agree.
Since it reminds me of a necromancy curse, I would recommend we go talk to one of the
Night Seed. Yes, I agree. That's what I was
Hmm.
thinking.
Yeah, that professor's
Night
also a
Seed is-
suspect. We could get
and
a
I
lot
would
of
also
knowledge.
like to speak with Professor Ravane because peculiar dream.
That's the dream professor.
Yes.
Man, they got everything here,
Yeah.
except evidently not drama or acting.
I mean, who would want
Almost like
those
they're in
things?
academic school.
Fucking waste of tax dollars and learning time.
Learning
always-
times.
Yeah, that's on Ugla's list of things he wants to learn. He wants to learn to be a better performer.
Ah. Okay, so you have your chit chats. You get a nice dinner. This is one of those university dining halls where they make a little bit of everything, and none of it's great, but all of it's okay.
Mhm.
You can have pizza or burgers or steak fingers or vegetarian nonsense, whatever you want.
I'm gonna roll an int check real quick.
Sure.
Genra's gonna have pizza.
All right, I'm not thinking about it.
Good, good.
I'm not gonna
None of
leave
us
the
are
room.
thinking about it.
Alrighty.
Ugla's
Uh,
gonna look for beets.
there's plenty of beets.
He's happy.
Not as good as Lily's beets, but they're beets.
Oh, and he's gonna bring one back to the dorm with him.
Okay. But does
I'm
Ugla look
gonna
for cheese?
The thought crosses his mind about what he had said he was going to do,
Mhm.
but then he remembers how utterly disabled Lycus was, and it's not funny anymore.
Okay.
I'm glad I didn't say anything about what type of pizza I was getting.
Yes.
Well, pizza has cheese on it.
Mm-hmm.
It does,
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah.
This has been
he's
terribly.
not with us, so
Mhm. But are you eating in the dining hall?
yeah.
Yeah, I plan
okay,
on
okay.
go with Genra as well.
Ugla just grabbed
Damn,
4
I got
beets
that
and
in my
eats
life.
3
Hold on.
while walking back. And
Okay.
can just keep going.
All right. Lycus, you have your bread and butter meal with the aid of the young boy.
Butter.
Oh, he's around?
Of course.
Yeah,
So this is all in our dorm that we're eating.
No, you guys went to the dining hall. Lycus didn't go.
Oh, he's in the dining hall?
He said he didn't
Oh,
leave.
Lycus is in the
Yeah,
dorm. with
Lycus
the
stayed
kid.
in the dorm, he
Okay,
said.
I'm headed that way.
Right. You'll arrive later, Lycus finishing up a delicious meal of fresh bread and butter and toppings. Does anyone have anything they need to do before we skip to nighttime?
Yeah, Ugla wants to talk to the kid.
All right. The kid chilling in the kitchen, kind of dangling his feet, kicking.
How,
Yeah.
how much time do we have?
A couple hours.
I want to read up on that history
What history?
because it was the books that I checked out from the library and brought back.
Oh, Winnowing Reach?
Yeah.
Okay. What are we doing, Ugla?
Sure. So he spots the little dude in the corner. He's gonna walk over. Good evening. How's your day going?
Hey.
Do you like to eat food?
Oh, food.
Have you ever had a beet? And he pulls it out.
Eat.
Today's your lucky day. These are pretty good. They're not the best, but they're pretty good. I think you'll enjoy it. Can I hand it to him?
Okay. He takes it.
Give it a try.
Oh.
Just munch on it a little bit. See what it tastes like.
Oh.
It's easy. Just put it up to your mouth. Yeah. Let's try it.
Huh. Just kind of toddles his feet there, hanging out.
Or you can use it as a ball.
Ball.
Yeah.
Throws it across the room.
It just splats. It doesn't bounce so well, though. How old are you?
Old.
Yeah, pretty old. Are you happy?
Ooh. Happy.
Are you sad? Have you always been a small 6-year-old Corvum?
The face he gives you is confusion at the concept of having always been anything.
Do you remember anything of your past life?
Past life?
Yeah.
Here we go. Gonna
Um,
kill us in our sleep.
have you ever met any other like you?
Others. Kids.
Other kids, yeah.
Kids.
What do you want?
Do you have a name by chance? Oh wait, we already went over this. You don't have a name. Would you like a name?
Boy.
Boy.
Nah, you can do it better than that. How about how about George? Do you like George?
Boy.
You like boy? Okay, that's kind of cool. Ugla's having like incredible moral conflicts right now.
About what?
I mean, he's a paladin about this creature's existence. He's trying to like figure out if it's tortured or like what its nature is.
Ugla's all undead or bad undead senses are not sitting well with this.
It's a little bit of that because he comprehended it to be a child, and it's like you saw how he responded to like the mass grave of children.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like the idea of animating a perpetually animated skeleton dressed like a child, with the mind of a child somehow. It's none of it seems right to him.
Mm.
So he's
Everyone
trying.
suggesting this thing go with us is not going to sit well with Ugla. I realize that now because of my entire aunt and children story. We'll see how that goes.
Right.
Well, no. See, no. Now it's going to sit better because your aunt saved those kids from being reanimated.
Yes.
Until she doesn't.
Until she was the one that was killing the kids to make sure that they were animated.
Yeah, Ugla definitely doesn't believe that your aunt killed those kids. I guess we should do that in character, but
Resic still does.
Okay. All right.
do you ever sleep?
Deep.
Like, what we do in the beds in there?
He just kind of gets down off his chair and lays down on the ground, stares at the ceiling,
Yeah, but then you close your eyes.
closes his eyes, wiggles his feet, bobs his head.
I mean, so you're generally pretty happy, right?
Oh my god.
Happy.
Yeah.
Ask him.
Is there anything that I could do that would really make you happy?
Blood of the innocent. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice. You
Like-
should have done that in the voice.
Oh, I should have forgot about it. No, I missed my chance.
Like, if there's anything I could do or bring you or anything I could do that would make you happy, what would it be, little guy?
You seem to like the color.
Ball.
A real ball?
Real boy.
He's still got his eyes closed, just kind of laying on the ground.
While he's laying on the ground, I slide over that other coloring book.
You're not there.
Do you like music?
Mm.
Why wouldn't I be there?
You're still eating in the dining hall.
You're at the cafe.
Oh, I guess he just went there and okay.
Yeah, he grabbed some beats and went back to the apartment.
Okay.
You know, like singing songs?
Song.
La 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 la. And Ugla starts clapping his hands.
Before he's
Damn, I'm
next
so
week.
glad
It's gonna be
she's
so
not there.
annoying.
He starts clapping.
Oh, fun, right?
Fun.
Yeah, you can make a beat, and then he starts doing different beats with his claps, like 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4.
The beats confuse him. He goes back to just
I thought you were gonna say he goes, picks up the beat.
Tuesday, Michael Jackson style. Every one of his songs has that in the back.
Uh-oh. Children. Michael Jackson.
Beat.
Oh, more simplistic pop music, but yeah, he was a child predator. Luckily, this is a skeleton child, so safe
It doesn't
from.
matter. Oh, it doesn't.
oh, so it
boy.
doesn't matter. Ha.
Wow.
Way to
Who's
go.
the terrible person now, Ugla? God.
Yeah, I just didn't feel bad for being a dick to him.
That's true.
That's a whole other stretch.
I shouldn't speculate that Michael Jackson's craven hungers stopped at living children. I mean, maybe skeleton children are included as well.
Yeah.
I'll be fair.
Reanimating children, though. Story.
So Ugla feels like 10 times bad for this kid. But luckily, Ugla also does not know who Michael Jackson is. So
There you go.
related to that.
All is well.
So you do like music. Music, ball. What else could you like? Have you ever been outside of the avium?
Outside.
I know you have like a really specific area you can go in. Do you know what'll happen if you leave that specific area?
Outside.
Would you die if you went outside?
Outside.
Have you actually been outside?
Outside.
Do you want to go outside?
Outside.
Yeah. How about we take a little walk?
Okay. He gets up off the ground where he's been laying with his eyes closed the whole time. Doesn't open his eyes. Just kind of stands there looking at you.
You broke him.
Is there a window?
The bedrooms of the apartment had windows, yes.
Come with me. We're gonna have some fun.
Outside. He follows along.
You can open your eyes.
Eyes. He opens them. He had already started walking along beside you without doing so, but sure, why not?
Do you need to have? I'll go notice that. Do you need to have your eyes open to know where you're going?
Eyes.
Huh. So yeah, we're gonna go into the room. Ugla's gonna open up the window.
Okay.
He's gonna grab the kid and he's gonna look and he's like, hey, "So you like outside, right?"
Outside.
Yep. And Ugla's going to like firmly grasp him. Firmly.
Firmly grasp.
Safely as
All right. Ugla. Roll. It doesn't matter. You're touching the illusion. You have trouble firmly grasping the child, as none of the places where you're supposed to grab him exist.
Oh,
Firmly grasp.
they go through his body. Do they
Yeah.
hit anything when they go through?
Eventually, you like you push through the outer feathers, and then you find something, like two hard objects, and then you keep going, and then there's the rib cage. So you've pinned his upper arm bones against his rib cage.
Yeah. Does he look disturbed?
Not in the slightest.
Okay, cool. So Ugla is going to just like grip his bones and hold him out the window for a second.
He just
Not for a second, for just a bit. Just like firmly holding him out there.
kind of toddles along. He's been waggling his his feet, and
Yeah.
bobbing his head.
Do you feel the warm fresh air of the night?
Air.
Yeah, that's what it's like to be outside. I don't know if I could.
Outside.
I don't know if I can smuggle you out of the academy, or if you'll fall apart if I do that. But you deserve a lot better than this life. Nuggle's gonna pull him inside, set him down. I'll do my best to find you a ball. Might even find something extra special for you too.
Ball.
Yeah.
All right. Ugla has a very long conversation with a skeletal NPC. And afterwards, Rezik and Genra return from dinner in the dining hall. Night has fallen. Rezik is settling down to review his Winnowing Reach history tomes. Anyone else doing anything else before sleep?
Does Ugla have like another hour?
There's still a couple hours before bedtime.
He's gonna go and try and find a music department.
A
Or
music
any
department.
anything to do with recreation, I guess. Recreation supplies.
Gotcha. There is a couple of like recreational areas, but they are largely magic and study focused. It'd be like the recreational areas in a Japanese college, where it's basically like, here are some more comfortable places to study.
Yeah, because he really wants to try to find a tambourine for this little guy.
Oh.
If he can't find that, he might try to look for raw materials of just like scraps of metal and like a a long, medium piece of wood that could be fashioned into a tambourine by Lycus.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely find those in various like labs or offices.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he'll go to like the shop or construction or repairs or like, utilities. What's the word for it?
They don't have that. They do it all with magic.
Oh
Right.
Lord. Okay.
Can you
Some
go
sort of raw
outside?
material store.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah,
like
he'll go for that.
in one of the experimental labs where they work with like physical goods. You'll find enough of what you're looking for.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he's looking for specifically the requirements to make a tambourine.
Right. You'll find basically you'll find some thin brass and chunks of wood that are been cast aside.
Could be fashioned to a hoop.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he'll take him back to Lycus.
To Lycus to do something with. All right. Everybody's arrived. Roll investigate, Rezik. See if you can learn anything about history. Yeah, you get a little history out of the Reach. It's
All
pretty
right.
it's pretty high level stuff. And largely it just centers around the Slime Festival. Like the Reach itself was formed as a way station, just like the the other one from your lifetime. Um, it grew up in many of the same ways and became a full-fledged city as the slime trade began to flourish. And then most of the book that you're reading is about the slime festival itself, about its many games, about its many events, and its various prizes and attractions.
Okay.
Cool.
Did it say anything about the torch ceremony or anything like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. It definitely mentions the lighting of the torch, the ceremonial bonfire.
Anything else? Nothing else.
It notes like that it's part of the ceremony for beginning the games and ending the games, but nothing about the torch bearer position or or that like the torch has to go someplace or any of that.
Okay. That's what I assumed, but I just wanted to double check to see. Oh,
Okay.
I guess that's really all I'm looking for.
Alrighty. Ugla, you arrive with your scraps and find Lycus, doing Lycus things.
Hey, Lycus, you got a
Hmm?
minute?
Oh, Randy, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and make another Arcana check to finish that ring.
Ah, okay. Yes. At the end of the night, if you're willing to sleep in a little, you'll be able to finish the ring tonight.
Yeah, he'll go ahead and take care of it.
Okay.
If he's on a run.
Yeah, things are going well. You don't want to mess with your flow, and you stay up a little late, but you'll finish it. Ugla, when you walk in, it looks like he's working with a miniature forge and some like fanciful inscription tools.
Oh, looks like you're busy. If
Oh
you have a
no,
minute,
I mean, if it's what do you need?
it's kind of goofy, but I feel pretty bad for the childlike skeletons that they have doing all the servant stuff around here. So I was talking to ours about music and fun and things that he enjoys. He says that he really likes balls. I feel like they already have those, so he's throwing one around with me earlier. But he seemed to enjoy clapping his hands, and didn't really know about the concept of music. So I thought I'd try to make him a little tambourine. So I went and got the materials, but can't quite figure out how to put it together.
I will happily put that together, but my make sure he doesn't play it
Make sure he doesn't play it.
at night.
Oh, yeah, of course. We need to get some good sleep.
All right. There's not a lot of major effort here. You're not exactly a skilled musical instrument constructor, but tambourines are about as simple as it gets. You tack together two pieces of wood and of string the brass scrap between it. It's I wouldn't call it musical, but it's certainly noisemakery.
I mean, that's tambourines.
Yeah, it's still tambourines. I just said the same words. What am I saying?
Yeah. All right, so he'll clank it a couple times and it jingles
Oh yeah,
correctly.
definitely jingles and jangles.
Perfect. So he's gonna poke his head outside of the room. And he's like, "Hey, boy, you here?"
Comes toddling in.
He's gonna hide this behind his back. You know, I said I was gonna find a little gift for you earlier. And Lycus were able to put something together. It's gonna help you make music.
Music.
Yeah. He holds it out in one hand, and then he takes the other hand and claps it a couple times.
Is Genra in the room when this is happening?
I mean, you're in the apartment. I think everyone can probably hear it.
I
And
was
spurs go jingle, jangle, jingle.
Yeah, I was wondering if she'd hear this and then kind of just offer up some bardic inspiration to the little boy.
Sure.
Ooh.
needing to play.
He takes it as Genra's walking in, and she briefly instructs him on tambourining.
Oh yeah, she's the professional. She can teach you how to play well.
Oh yes, it's quite easy. All you do is take it and then you hold it like this and you slightly pat it and you find the beat in which you want to pat. And that is it.
He rolled a -2. He
How?
he rolled 1d20 with a 2, -6 for his skeletal dexterity, +2 from her inspiration. So he takes it in both hands, and he looks at Genra, and he takes it in one hand, and he takes his pointy skeletal hand and just puts it through it, and then shakes them both.
Hmm.
But it basically
Oh my
it just falls apart, but it jangles some while it does so.
So I was actually picturing like the hoop one, not the one with the little what's it called?
Yeah, he puts his hand through the wood,
Doesn't have
through the
thing-
frame.
It doesn't have the thing over it.
Yeah, I know you're talking about the drum top. I'm saying
I
like,
was thinking of it like that.
no. I knew what you meant, Dungeon, but he puts his hand
puts it
literally
through
just
the
through the
rim.
wooden frame. Yeah, and then he just
And then
shakes
shakes it.
those things, and but it does jingle jangle as they fall to the ground.
Fun, right?
Music.
Yeah. So looks like that one broke a little bit, but you can still pick up the pieces and shake them around, and it's about the same thing.
He just grabs like 2 handfuls of brass scraps and just got himself a brass maraca. I mean, his hands are made of a very hard material, so it actually works pretty well.
Nice.
Almost the same thing.
It's kind of
All I
awkward
do
with
is
the
find his own
illusion.
rhythm.
The like you watch the brass just kind of like disappear in and out of the illusion many times. It's a little disconcerting, but the noise is also actually the noise is probably a little disarming too. Metal against bone.
Hmm.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugla is so overwhelmed with pity for this abomination that he doesn't even care.
Okay. So a little fun is had. Night falls. It's bedtime.
Yeah, Ugla instructs him. He's like, now you can only play that when the sun is out, or when we're not sleeping. Sorry, only play when we're not sleeping. It's fun though, right?
Not
Done
sleeping.
messed up, hey, Ron.
Genra actually, so she hears this, and it occurs to her that they'd said that he had been peeping on them. So she wonders to herself, like I had that weird dream. He thinks we were all awake. I wonder if this little boy saw anything at any point, and even if he did, would we be able to get out of him?
Could he
Probably
articulate
not,
it?
But yeah.
Kill him.
So I think she would probably like give that, just tell maybe Ugla and Lycus and Rezek, that she thinks of that, but she wouldn't pursue it, because she really knows that's probably not going to be something they're going to get out of him. So she
Right.
does that.
Okay. Everyone heads to bed. You man your bunk beds. Any change in the nighttime routine or activities?
Bring up. Do we want to try to watch now? Do we understand why we need to watch?
Yes.
Well, so let's
hopefully
talk
no one
about
can skip their shift.
or remind me that did I don't know, so Lycus did share his harrowing night with the party, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. He did. I thought it was a dream.
Yeah.
So because
He-
He framed it as like it may have been real, it may have not.
Right.
Yeah. And he was very convinced that those people were us for sure. And he didn't mention that, he couldn't see faces or anything.
Right.
so-
He did leave the spooky parts out.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would just be pertinent to ask because the night before, Ugla was very convinced that there should be a watch, and then last night it seemed like everything went well. So, do we want to hold a watch again tonight?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
We
I think
do.
it's generally a good idea. So we
Oh.
have an environment run by other people, and seen to by a poor little skeleton abomination.
A what? He is not an abomination. Why would you say such a thing?
It's
Yeah.
animated.
That's so rude.
You shut your trap, Mr. Rezick. You are not that boy's friend, and we all know it, you jerk.
Think of the incredible sadness it must be to be whatever's inspiring and creating that creature to walk around and live that life.
I mean, he seems completely fine. He doesn't have sadness at all.
He does, but he also doesn't have a choice. Not much of a life.
But he doesn't understand what a choice is.
You just said he was bone. Like, and it's what?
Yeah, I mean, he's legitimately just a tiny skeleton being forced to walk around and.
But he's so. I don't see it at all like that. I feel like he's very pleased with his life and whatever it is, lack thereof. I don't know. He's probably doing much better than any of us because he doesn't have anything weighing on his conscience.
He
don't
does
think he has
seem
a
happy,
conscience.
but
Yeah, he probably doesn't have a conscience.
I mean, he does seem happy, but if I died and somebody just brought my bones back and made them dance
You
around and do
wouldn't
dumb shit,
know. It's fine. You're thinking this too much. Too much thinking.
I mean, when we die, we deserve to rest. Life is hard enough as it is.
Agla, you are
It-
a
it
very
bothers-
complicated man. That is all I'm going to say about it.
I'm-
So,
I just want people to be happy.
and dead when they're dead.
Oh,
Me knowing Ugla, I try and use Altus teaching as a club. Be like, hey, you know how it's like we're supposed to challenge the way society is. Maybe this is a betterment change. Maybe this is just something that you're just not used to or accustomed to, and it's
I don't know. I mean, it's a small skeleton.
maybe ask
Bones of children.
maybe pray on it. Ask
Really?
Altus for guidance on it.
If anything, I'm even angrier now.
You guys made him think about it. Now he's mad.
Yes.
Professor-
He
was
overthought it,
Professor
and now
Nightbreed
he
the
is
one
in
who
a
did this?
tiff.
No, yeah. The ancient Strig in the library said that Nightbreed was the one who did this, right?
Night Seed, I believe it was, but indeed, yes. Necromancy is Professor Nightseed's major. What am I looking for? I just totally lost that word. Expertise.
Specialization.
Yes. So, if you have an issue with boys' existence, I suppose you should bring it up with her. Or him.
She did it. I'm not sure how fruitful that's going to be. I get a real bad feeling about that one. Let's just say.
I mean, we do need to probably walk over and see her at some point about that
I
book.
think we should see her as a group.
even sure she's a problem. I think, if anything, she might be able to lead us to other suspects that may have actually taken that book after her.
And she can tell us what is small compared to other problems we have right now. But she can also tell us about our curse.
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
Lovely.
so we need to play nice. Okay.
I mean, I
please.
didn't plan on playing anything else. Not going to be bad cop in this.
Yeah, I'll try and put my, like I said, personal quandaries aside. It just, I don't know. I guess I'm a little surprised that none of y'all have a problem with somebody taking the bones of children and making them dance around and do housework for you.
What if
Maybe
you
I'm just
Especially
old
for
actually?
someone that took
I know
great
you
offense to
kids.
thinking
You're into
that they're
crazy
not.
stuff.
Put bones in the ground after killing a bunch of kids.
Did you have to bring that up, Rezik? I mean, I thought we were able to move past it. It would be over. I would never have to have this conversation again, although I do have that dagger. But, I just. Come on.
I think y'all need to come to an agreement on that.
I think you need to tell him to get rid of that from his mind because I'm tired of thinking about it myself.
Well, maybe
Rosic,
she did.
so-
Maybe she's like Ugla. Maybe she did it for the greater good to get rid of the bones, so that way the kids can actually rest in peace.
I don't know. Those restless spirits, the way the bones are just thrown into a coffin together, the evil looking cloak you're wearing, I don't think so.
Evil looking.
Anyway, we're going to move off of this subject immediately because the fact that you mentioned her, as in my great aunt Margaret, again, I just cannot sit here and take this anymore. It's absolutely absurd.
Jenner, it's okay. She's
Whew.
dead. She won't be bothered by this.
Don't remind me.
Well, I mean, maybe someone will reanimate her bones and make her a janitor. That she'd be really happy like that, right?
You son of a bitch.
Maybe she can clean your
Well,
family's
if she
house
wants
in
to,
perpetuity
if
and
someone,
dance around and play with tambourines.
if she wants to serve another purpose or somebody sees a purpose for her, better for it. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference to me. I mean, I'd be happy to see her again in any capacity, so
Even
it's
as a
fine.
skeleton.
Yes, as a spooky skeleton, as you put it.
Well,
Apparently, boy is spooky.
we can inquire with Professor Nightseed about that. Maybe it can be arranged.
Anyway, are we doing the watch? Who's taking what round? I don't care.
I gotta go back to the library earlier. I'm not that sleepy. I'll go first.
All right. Well, you're first. I'll go fourth. Or no, let me take first, and I'll work on the ring, and then I can head to sleep, and then you can take the second one, Ugly.
Okay.
Who's third and
I'll
fourth?
take third.
Alright.
I'll take third.
Again was last.
So it is.
I don't know. Again, don't skip this one. Crazy things can happen. I know we were very tired, but we have to be resolute. We can only trust each other.
Whatever you say.
All right. On the eve of yet another totally eventless and fine, peaceful night, we'll take a break.
Hmm.
Ooh. Yay.
All right.
Whee!
Whee.
Are you doing dollars?
well.
All right. Looks like folks are around. Maybe. The dog is confused.
He's
Hello.
up there with me. Oh, he's scratching.
Oh, okay.
It seems we have the whole crew here.
Indeed.
Indeed.
All right. So, night falls. Like if
I
you,
gotta go. I completely forgot what time it was.
Oh
Haha.
yeah, I was gonna say.
You gotta go to work?
I meant to say it
oh
earlier.
yeah,
Well, yeah. Woo.
have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, dude. See you Tuesday.
Talk to our 4-cam setup there real quick. Bam. Kapow. Like I was ready. Ha. So,
You lick your butt. Come on.
night falls. Lycus, kind of sort of on watch, but really finishing up his crafting project. The 4 of you, or the 3 of you now, make perception checks for your watches. Alrighty. Genra still top of the class as usual.
Not by much though.
Not by a large margin. Okay. Nothing of major note happens tonight. The only thing you really notice, Genra and Lycus, is that throughout your watches you'll spot the curtain shift aside a couple times and then go back as you're being checked in on. Ugla, you're like full on watch. You know some creepy shit's been happening. You are on it. But every time you think you hear or see something, you whip around. It's never there. So, an uneventful night passes.
All right.
So I guess we head down for day 2 into the library, and I'll
Indeed.
hand Ugla his ring.
Okay. Ugly.
Oh,
You have a magical attunement required ring of hand hiding. You know, of you have a ring of illusory gloves. Once per day, it can take on the image and place them over your hands of plain.
He wants
Huh?
of anything he wants that's roughly hand size.
No, that's far too magical. Of
Okay.
plain brown leather gloves.
but it has to be attuned.
Yes, it does require an attunement slot.
Not that I thought I was making it so that gave the appearance of his hand.
Oh, you're trying to make it so that his hands look normal?
Yes.
Oh, okay, then yes. It just gives the illusion of exactly your normal hands. And if it goes on someone else, it's still your hands.
And it still requires attunement.
Yep.
And all 4 of us have fucked up hands now.
Yep.
Yep.
This sounds like something to sell. Or make 3 more of.
Definitely that one.
Probably the latter.
Yeah, money's not that popular. Or important.
I don't know about that, but
I tell Ugla and Genra that it costs about 50 gold pieces each to make one,
All right.
and he'll work on one for each other member of the party.
okay. Over 50 gold and a successful crafting check, you can create a very limited illusion over a pair of hands.
Mm-hmm.
So the way attunement works is that if I wanted to unattune and replace it, it'd be okay?
Yes, you have 3 attunement slots, and you can unattune and attune another item given a short rest's worth of time.
Okay. So Ugla's going to put that on, and next time it has an opportunity, he's going to attune to it.
Okay. I mean, it's the morning. You could do that now while you're getting your paladin spells.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So I guess
it'll definitely be useful to get back in the avium, or not the avium, Alderheart. But yeah, evidently the problem is spread a little bit. I bet you didn't know you were going to be making one for you.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, Let's get the old researching then.
There we go.
Yep.
So you guys do your morning rituals and have breakfast and head for the spiral stair and down into the archives once more. Mordain greets you and a pleasant night, I suspect.
Yeah, no thanks to you.
I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but my apologies if I caused you any sort of distress, sir.
I'm just kidding. Hope your day's going well.
Ha ha ha. Yes.
Quite cheeky there, are we, Ugla?
A good one.
Pardon our companion.
Yeah, do these that's Professor Nightseed. Is she the only one that knows about the skeleton automatons?
Knows about in what way?
And that how they were made?
Oh, she is the one who is tasked with creating and managing their maintenance, yes.
Where do you get the bones for these?
Oh, they're donated.
By who?
Oh, ex-students, family members, maintenance staff, living, of course. Generally just people who have a love of the avium or owe their life to someone at the avium, and they donate their bodies to further benefit the future studies of the Humblewood.
So it's all voluntary?
Yes.
That's pretty noble, even if it's very creepy.
Indeed, I mean, necromancy is usually quite a horrific art. That's why we only teach it theoretically. But this one particular act is done with noble intent from both sides.
Definitely seems it. Plus, the little skeleton's very happy.
Happy. It's a
Yeah.
skeleton. They don't have emotions.
He responds differently to different emotions. I mean, he might have a bit of sentience.
It's a very convincing.
No, animated skeletons have no emotional capacity whatsoever. They can't even speak.
Oh, he can definitely speak.
He. How do you know it's a boy?
Well, we don't know for sure, but he responds to the name boy very well. He says the word boy back.
I see.
I
Huh.
asked it if it wanted the name George, and it said no. Or it paused and said boy. Chose a name.
That's
It says read. It tried to play an instrument last night.
that,
It voluntarily did coloring books.
It colored coloring books.
that's
They have a form of life.
That's very bizarre. The skeletal servitors have none of these features of which you speak, and he claps his hands, and a dozen of them walk in, all just kind of standing there lifelessly.
So is the one that is watching over us not employed by the same people?
Well, I couldn't say. That would be
It's
a
definitely
that would be a question for the dean or Professor Nightseed.
Yes, we will.
maybe
be
we get
following
one
up.
with a little special sauce thrown in there.
Perhaps surveillance special sauce. But it is what it is. Thank you for that information. I appreciate that.
Yes. Back to
Unless
the
you.
back to the research today.
Yes, definitely.
Servitors, please retrieve the same books as yesterday. Now, brush off and grab the books and fill your tables once more. Um,
As my table's getting filled up by this guy. Oh wait, these are actual people, or are they skeleton
These
people?
are the skeletons.
yeah, these are all skeletal servitors.
Okay, the one filling my table up. I'm gonna talk to it. Hey, are you actually capable of speaking, but you just don't want that guy to know about it?
Doesn't even like look at you or respond in any way.
We've got a unique bird.
I'm gonna like put my leg behind it and trip it as it turns to leave.
It stumbles and falls. Gets back up, goes back about its job.
Does it show any emotion at all?
Nope.
Okay.
Whew, This is getting interesting. As though it wasn't interesting before.
All right. So, a round of investigations from the trio for your second day of research. Good as ever. All right. So,
The exact same roll.
true. Today, you push through with great hardship, and you do find some results. Let's see. Look, today, like it seemed like yesterday that you really started with like a lot of like high level knowledge about the Great Calamity, just like general historic facts, very minor on very little on like minute details. Today, you do find some like eyewitness accounts or like passed down stories. But what you really notice is that quite a few of these books have had their pages ripped out. Not entirely, they're not like completely destroyed, but like every time that something would get really useful or juicy, the page is missing.
Ooh.
You to share that with the group.
Um,
Yeah, this is definitely what the dean was talking about.
You do
Somebody's been around.
find one passage that leads in from a torn page. So whatever came before this is unknown, but it says, regardless of the origin of the calamity, whether or not rumors of an elder elemental being hold any truth to them, a magical event of incredible significance is almost certain to have taken place. The calling of such elemental energies, whether through evocation or conjuration, would require a mage of unparalleled skill or an entity of unfathomable power.
It's going to take those notes.
Okay. All right. Kenra, in your search for mass amnesia today, the books you're looking through do detail of very few such events historically.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all like eyewitness or second or third hand accounts, and they all seem pretty far fetched. Nothing so specific as to it really relating to your experiences. And like two of the three of them definitely just sound like, well, everybody in town didn't want to remember that anymore, so we all forgot it. You know, that kind of thing.
Like a willingly kind of thing.
Yeah, and probably not true at all. They just don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Got it.
You dig through down to the last of your pile, and the servitors are taking some of them back. Roll D100 for luckiness. Not very lucky.
Nope.
Mordain has a thought, and oh, I'd thought of something else related to memory. I recall there being a tea or a tincture of some kind that could wipe one's mind. Perhaps that would be helpful. And he sends a servitor off for it. Comes back with a kind of like a rare alchemies tome that does detail a mixture of several herbs and chemicals you've never heard of that supposedly can cause memory loss.
Okay.
Not really
All right.
relevant, but it is a thing that has memory loss in it, so he thought of it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good to know.
All right. Lycus, your second day of research. What was your topic again?
Elemental.
Oh, yes, the elementals. Right. You had the 10. Okay. You do find several other passages that really, and you start to dig on that elder elemental theme that you found yesterday. You find things like many elder elementals have the traits of more than one element in concert, Stories from across the Humblewood tell of a fire and earth elemental who may have been involved in the calamity that birthed the Scorched Grove. And then in one book, a particularly poignant looking passage, elemental creatures composed of fire that also possess earth elemental traits tend to be incredibly strong and durable, and do not appear to retain their vulnerability to cold type magics. However, cold type magic should theoretically be able to. You flip the page, and the following page is ripped out.
Huh. He takes note of which book it is.
Okay. In a further book,
Um,
you find a similar experience. Elder elementals have strong connections to the energy of their aspected elements. This connection can be so strong that ripped out page.
He's going to collect. Are those the only two he finds in a
Nope.
short period of time?
There's one more.
Mhm.
One of the servitors brings what looks to be a very carefully brings a glass case, inside of which is a magically suspended book. Not because it looks dangerous, but because it looks like it's on the verge of turning into dust.
Of falling apart, yeah.
Yeah. This book was caught in a fire or maybe purposefully burned who knows how long ago. Very little of it survives, but the magic that suspends the book will slowly leafs through the pages that do remain, and even those are mostly unintelligible. However, you do spot a passage. After its defeat, the aspect of ice lost a single shard. The Borealis was sealed away. There's a lot of burned sections here. So let me start over. After its defeat, the aspect of ice lost a single shard. Burnt section. The Borealis burnt section was sealed away. Burnt section. A dance of fire and ice maintains the wood's balance. Burnt section. If the fire wanes, it must wane slowly. Only then will its energies have time to ebb away. Then burnt to the end.
Don't know anything.
Nope.
He'll scribble down notes about the Borealis and then the names of the two books that were partially,
Okay.
because he'll want to go talk to Mordain about those two books in particular.
All right. You finish up your day of research, and the three of you are like,
Actually,
Hmm?
question: how old does the tear look?
the torn pages from your other books.
Yeah, the places where pages have been torn. How old does the tear look, or was it onto the glue?
Certainly, some of them were directly onto the glue, so you wouldn't really have a good idea. But some are less clean. Roll investigate to know what older tears might look like. Sure. You're not. It's hard to tell. Most of the books themselves are very old, so even at their tears, the pages would still be old. But some of the one of the texts was new-ish, last 50 years or so, and was less yellowed. And the tear looks almost white, as if the interior fibers were nearly fresh. So it is presumable that the tear happened within the last year. It's recent enough that the exposed fibers have not begun to age.
Sure. He's gonna grab a small piece of chalk.
Mhm.
And he's going to finally dust the cover of the books to see if he sees any fingerprints on them that are not his. He's wearing gloves.
There are no birds don't have fingerprints.
Oh, fair. But there's no discernible marking on the book, like from a talon or anything.
I mean, you certainly notice signs of being handled, but that's not unique to the torn books.
Sure. Okay. Then Lycus will go talk to Ugla and Genra.
Okay. Three of you are wrapping up your second day. You come together. The servitors are taking back the books, and not really out of the ordinary. You've looked up several times that he's been gone, but at this particular moment, Mordain is not around. Normally, when you've seen him wander off before, it was down into some deep section of the archive to retrieve a book or do some librarian duties.
Lycus will call over one of the.
It walks up.
Could you get librarian Mordain?
It makes an affirmative kind of motion and walks off into the stacks.
Okay. At which point, going to Ugla and
Okay.
So, any interesting details you all found?
A lot of ripped pages.
Me too.
Somebody's definitely trying to hide certain bits of information about specifically what we're looking for.
Well, either it's inaccurate unless it was torn out, but it seems to have been done in some time in the last.
I mean, the kind of stuff that got tore out of my book, it was, just when I'd be getting into stuff that might be relevant to what we're looking at today, it would just end. Just straight tear almost immediately.
Yes, same here. It was mine was all theoretical about the mine seemed to be some sort of theory or speculation about the fire elemental. And then discussing how if fire and ice are maintained in balance as elements in the wood, then what was done to the scorched grove could eventually subside.
Oh, that's good.
I shouldn't say subside. I would more accurately describe that it would not cause any more harm. But it seems like someone's actively bringing up certain elements. There's mention of a Borealis here, but
What is that?
I would. Great question. It's something to do with an ice elemental, so it may, if we're able to find such an item, it might prove useful to us in any dealings we have with some of these issues with fire down the line.
That's fair.
Sounds like both of you had more productive days than me, as I wasn't able to find quite what I was looking for at all. Just some basic information that probably isn't quite as relevant as I would like.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, all I got on the Great Cataclysm was that if there was an elemental behind it, whatever summoned it would have to be an incredibly powerful mage or being of some sort, which is kind of a duh thing, but
Indeed.
from the plane of fire.
Do you think we have time to go find that Professor Nightseed?
I actually
Um,
kind of, yeah, either Nightseed or Morty.
Personally, I'd like to wait for the librarian to return to see if we can get some of his time to talk about the torn books before things close down.
Genra,
That's
your sharp ears pick up the sound of maybe something tumbling to the floor within the stacks. Then the three of you, shortly after, hear oh my goodness, oh no, help, please.
Damn it! I knew that's what you were trying. I was like, these are Rose.
all right. Let's go.
Oh my! Yes, let's go. I don't know. Do you hear where it's coming from? Could you tell which direction? Can I tell which direction?
Oh, from. Somewhere in the probably in the second layer, and most likely on the side closest to you. somewhere in this region.
Got it. Genra points over there and says, I believe it is that way. Let's make our way over there.
I was gonna jump up and clatter over there, running.
Okay. All three of you go.
Yes.
Yes.
As previously mentioned, the main reception area here is well lit, but the deeper you go into the stacks, the more shadowy it becomes.
Huh.
Rezik's not here.
Yeah.
Which column or stack are you running up?
I guess well Genra's going to okay, I guess first of all, how long are these?
40 feet long and 10 feet apart.
Could you see down it by running by it, or is it too dark?
Yeah.
I mean, night vision.
This first row, you could definitely see all the way into, but you couldn't even pierce the secondary row. It'd be too far. Beyond that,
Right,
there's
so-
it's dimly lit in the shadows out there.
So I'll go run for the middle of it, and then take a
Yeah.
left and try and look both ways and see if you can figure out what's going on.
I mean, you guys are where I have you on the map. You're down at the bottom of the stacks.
Huh.
So so Ugla's just gonna run straight
Okay,
down that second stack.
you're gonna go up the second stack. Okay. Is anyone not going up the second stack?
No. Not me.
Lycus, would you like to split the party?
No.
Okay.
But he'll run up towards the second stack, but he probably won't make it all the way up if it doesn't look like there's a good way down on the other side.
So the three of you begin to head down the stack. As your night vision pushes forward, as you have it, you spot what looks to be a kind of burly, robed figure being like pushed or forced or drug up further outside of your vision, up towards the third row stacks above you.
Going for it, assuming that's the person who's just yelling for help.
It sounds like Mordain, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. You rush forward.
I'll yell out, "Hold on, Mordain, we're coming."
You continue to rush forward, and he's dragged out of sight, seemingly around a corner or something like that. You push into the second row. Genra, in your haste, your eyes are still excellent. There's a discarded piece of paper, a discarded, like maybe the page of a book or something here. Okay. And as you looking down and noticing that, and the other two are still rushing forward, all three of you get a very odd sensation. The shades, the shadows being cast around this area, all kind of flicker about. Not as if the light's moving, but as if the direction of the light source is changing. And the shadows that you personally cast with your bodies, suddenly face the wrong direction. The light the light's coming from here. Your shadow should be that way, but it's over there.
Yeah.
As if whatever the light is in front of us isn't causing us to cast a shadow.
Maybe.
Something is afoot. I don't feel like this is right. Something is going on. What is this an illusion? Is someone trying to trick our minds?
It sounded like Mordain was calling for help.
Yes, this is growingly worrisome.
Well, why do you think it's an illusion? What's going on?
There's something wrong. I can see around me, and I know where the lights are, and I looked down just moments ago at that piece of paper, which I don't know if we could have, but I definitely wanted to grab that.
You snag the paper, and as you do and have this conversation, your shadows reach up off the ground and animate into the air, each attacking in concert. I think I missed everyone, but maybe Genra. I know 9 misses Ugla, and I rolled a nat 1 on Lycus. Genra, does an 11 hit you?
Yeah, definitely.
Sweet.
Sweet.
An 11 total
That's what
against Kendra?
Genra wears no armor, I assume. Actually, Genra, don't you have great dex?
I do, right?
What's your
Maybe?
dexterity score?
You're
Actually,
Oh no, Dex is one of your dump stats, but you have a 12
Yeah.
thanks to your studded leather armor. So no,
Ooh.
an 11 misses you. So
But-
yeah,
And she doesn't
Okay.
have a -1 on from dex?
no, she's got average Dex.
Okay.
God.
All right, so the shadows spring up out of the earth or out of the stone, animate, and they all like swing a shadowy claw towards one of you, your own shadow attacking you. And unfortunately for them, you all dodge out of the way. Surprised, but not so surprised that you missed that you couldn't dodge, I guess. Roll initiative.
Well-
What? Oh, equals 2. Plus 2. There we go. Okay.
Point 1 coming through.
Hell yeah. All right, Ugla, you're up. You are each standing next to your own shadow under attack. Shadow.
So I felt it try to hit me and glance
Oh,
off
you
my
saw
armor.
it. You don't have to feel it. I mean, it literally animates in front of you and swung a claw.
I'm gonna pull out my sword and attempt to just swipe right through it.
Okay.
I have the long shield on now, or was it tower
Shield, yes. Are you using your tower shield? You've got the -1.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I'll be fair. I'll have the tower shield and the sword up.
Okay.
So yeah, I baked the -1 into it. I think
Yep,
I did it
I
right.
see that. You did.
You-
Yep.
Do you want to smite?
18 definitely hits. Do you want to cast spells? Anything else you want to do? You just want to swing your sword this round?
I don't think seeing a shadow jump out in front of him. I don't know if Ugla's convinced that he's going to be able to actually even hit it with his sword, so he's not going to bother with the smite aspect of it. He's just going to go for it.
Okay. You swing your sword and slice through the shade. It does. It just kind of ephemerally passes through. But you do see a little bit less substance to its form.
Hmm. So it felt good. Okay.
It seemed like something happened. Like there was a little resistance as your sword passed through the body. Lycus with an 11.1.
Yes. Lycus will tap his shoulder to create a force ballista and then shoot it at.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well,
I
That's
see.
legit.
14 force ballista damage.
yep, it's 14 force damage.
Alrighty. A miniature but still thick ballista bolt blasts from your little shoulder cannon and carves an enormous hole inside of the shadow attacking you.
And that's his action and his bonus.
Okay.
Am I able to observe that happening?
Sure. Me. They will once again. Oh wait, no, they. It seems as though they vanish into the shades themselves, the shadows that the stacks themselves would cast. They all get to make bonus action hide checks. Their hide.
Oh, mine got blasted back 5 feet or 10 feet.
Is it 5 or 10?
Second. It's such a big section. I didn't actually copy it into my sheet. I just said C.
All right.
Pushed up to 5 feet away from the cannon.
All right.
So I'll push it back 5 feet.
Blast it back a square. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. Genra sees all of them, but the other two see, I think, none of them. I think you both have +1s to perception, don't you? Or less?
-1.
-1, yeah.
+1 perception.
Yeah. All right. So both of you, Ugla and Lycus, they disappear from sight. Genra, you still spot them, but it is currently their turn. So they will not have advantage on Genra, but it will move up, and they'll have advantage against the two of you. Ugla, Lycus, and Genra. I think I probably hit everyone. So it's +4. So I've got 20, 17, and 19 to hit.
It's +4.
Yep, they're +4.
Yeah, he gets
So 17 +4
16 plus
16
4.
+4.
for mine.
Yeah, which is 20.
I have 20 AC.
That means I hit you. Wahahaha.
You hit all of us.
Good.
Wow. Okay, wait. How much damage did I take?
None yet.
Okay.
Ugla.
Rolling 1d100.
14 or no, sorry. That's 10 damage and more importantly, 4 strength drain. You take 10 hit
Okay.
points, you lose 10 hit points, and your strength is lowered by 4.
Are we actually doing drain, or are we doing things like the weakened?
No, this is as per 5e rules on this particular critter. Strength scores are reduced.
Wow.
It's not drain and damage like old rules. It falls off after a long rest apparently.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna do -2 on my attack rolls.
Correct, and damage.
Okay.
Okay. Genra. 5 points of damage, 2
Oh.
points strength drain.
Actually, I'm going to reaction shield.
Ah, okay. You react and shield and bat away the grasping claw. For Genra and Lycus, the strength drain basically doesn't matter unless you hit 0, at which point you're unconscious. Or actually, you're just dead. If you hit 0, you die. Ugla, of course, it affects your combat efficiency. Alrighty, that's me. Then Genra.
Sorry. So if we lose all our points, we die.
Yes.
Wow. This is a wild scene. Okay. All right.
Your strength goes to 0, you die. You don't just go unconscious.
Correct. If your strength goes to 0, your body can no longer your heart no longer has the strength to pump blood.
Pump blood.
Yeah.
The most high stakes combat I've ever been in. It's crazy. Okay, Genra is going to so she can still see them, right?
Yep, they're visible. Once they attacked you, or you could see them all along, but you could tell that they kind of tried to disappear into the shadows. That your eyes were just too good.
Got it. Okay, so she is going to use gust of wind to try to blow them away. So just I guess that one that's directly in front of her or behind her, I can't tell which it is, but yeah. The closest one to her. She's not really sure if this is going to help with the shadow, but she's grasping at straws.
Okay. Are you gonna make a line so it would blast Uglas as well, or are you doing just in front of you?
I wouldn't mind, attempting to get both. So yeah, I think she would probably try to do that.
Okay. So I make a pair of strength saves, which are awful.
Shadow.
One of them passes, one fails. Let's say this is I did yours first, so yours is blasted, Ugla's is not. It goes 15 feet back.
Does that trigger an attack of opportunity?
No, forced movement never triggers AOs. However, side effects of casting silly spells like Gust of Wind in a library, the
Books.
the stack rows that you guys are in are basically going to be just destroyed by this heavy wind on these old books. Tons of like each stack, each column here holds hundreds of tomes, and you blast. Let's see what percentage of them.
Damn it, Genra. You bird brain.
88% of all the books fall off the shelves and some of them might be destroyed, some of them are made not, but there are a lot of pages and like torn, ripped pieces of paper flying through the air as they tumble onto the ground.
Hopefully there's some magic for that.
There's not.
There's not.
I didn't think there
I mean,
would
if they can
be.
gather the right pieces with the right books, they can cast mending. But like, fix them,
That's a
book
lot of
them.
sorting.
No, we ain't got that shit.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't know. I mean, you know.
I mean, your life's in danger. I understand.
Yeah.
Ugla.
He's gonna swing at the dude in front of him again.
All right. You want to do anything special this time?
If he connects, he's gonna try and smite it.
Okay.
So
Nice.
15 and 11.
What?
-2.
-2
Oh,
from
the
the
minus
strength.
2s from strength. Yes, of course. Okay, yeah. 15 and 15 hits.
Sweet. So he feels it hit, and he turns on his smite right as it embeds in his body. Just fills that sword up with Althusian energy.
Noise. What spell slot are you burning, and how much damage does it deal?
Do I have a second level spell slot?
I don't know. Do you?
You do not until
No,
fifth
not
level.
till 5th. So,
So just the
You-
first level, so 2d8.
all right, so you burn a first, and you deal an extra 1d8,
2d8.
2d8. Nice.
Yeah, it's a d8 plus 1, or it's a
Radiant.
Oh, and it's a radiant. Ooh, and a high roll. Look at you. All right, so you did 11 plus 12 radiant. Unbeknownst to you, they are weak to radiant, and so that's actually 18 radiant.
Ooh.
And the damage from the sword, yours, like with the radiant energy burning through it, it just vanishes into nothingness, and your actual shadow resumes its form on the ground.
Ugla pokes it.
Seems shadowy.
Boop, boop.
They're weak to holy energy, he's going to yell.
Okay, Lycus. Yours
Force
is
Ballista, and
yours is barely standing as it is.
he's going to attempt to Force Ballista it again as a bonus.
Okay. 15 hits. You blast what little remains of your shade.
Pulls his arcane firearm and tries to cast a firebolt on.
Okay.
Fortunately, he hopes the gust of wind will destroy any flames that could.
Oh no.
A very tiny, just like a little sputter of fire blasts out of the arcane firearm, crosses the distance, scorching several small pieces of paper, and takes a little nick out of the shade that was on Genra.
And then he's going to use his movement to try to go ahead and move 30 feet towards where they
You're gonna move towards the bad guy?
towards where he was being dragged off.
Oh, okay, but past the bad guy.
Well, right, he doesn't provoke an AOP
Right,
yet.
right. Okay. All right. It dips back into the shadows. Nobody sees it this time because it rolled hella good. And since Lycus is standing next to him, he's gonna attack Lycus. 15 hit you, Lycus?
Nope.
Well, shit. All right.
You're looking for a 16.
Well, shoot. He misses and swings ineffectually at Lycus's form. He's taken 1 damage. Genra, you're up.
I think she's just going to. Okay, hold on. No, I think she's just gonna move towards Lycus because she can see Lycus is dealing with something.
Okay. It's visible now that it attacked. You can see it again.
Okay, yeah, she's gonna move towards it.
All right. And then.
Then it got advantage on its last attack.
Oh yes, it did. Perhaps I did strike Lycus after all.
Oof.
19.
Shield.
Damn. All right. Now what, Genra?
How close did I get?
You're 10 feet away.
Okay. All right, cool. Could I have gone any further?
Yep.
That's what I'm asking. Yes?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm going to get over here. So we're kind of offset.
Okay.
Me and the creature.
Mhm.
And then I am going to. I'm gonna try to use my feeding dagger.
You're gonna stab it with your knife.
Yep.
Get him.
Because blowing books over really sucked. Okay.
Okay. 13 hits, and you give it a good slice. Unlike Ugla's blade, yours doesn't seem as ineffective. Like when Ugla swings through it, he swings hard, but it doesn't really cut as much as you'd like. When you stab at it, it seems like it punches a good-sized hole. Out of character knowledge, it's resistant to non-magical blades.
Got it.
Okay, you punch a good hole in it. It has taken 6 damage. Ugla.
I'm just gonna rush on over and stab it
Hiya!
or swing at it.
Hiya!
We'll see if it hits.
15 once again hits, and you get that same feeling. Like you swing right through and you feel the resistance, but it doesn't feel like it was like, if anything, it was only as effective as Genra's stab, and you know you're much stronger than she is. Actually, it was less effective with the strength down. So 7.
Yeah, -2. Does
7.
13 still hit?
13 does hit it, but the 7 divided by 2 is 3, so you do 3 damage. It has taken 9 points. Lycus.
Second verse, same as the first.
Yeah. 24 definitely hits, and 12 will blast apart the remaining shadowy energies. Kapow.
Yay! We did it.
You stand in an empty stacks hallway, looking like you just attacked a bunch of books. Paper covers and ripped pages strewn all about you. Some small pieces still fluttering through the air. You're all combat capable and staring at nothing if someone were to walk by right now.
Lycus is going to continue to try to chase after whatever happened. Like the second that combat the second.
Okay.
Yep. Same with Genra.
Alrighty. You dash around the corner, and There we go. And spot Mordain picking himself up off the ground, looking like harried and harassed, and a little bloody on like one side of his face, but otherwise relatively okay. He stands up and oh, it. I guess you must have done whatever you needed to. They ran right off. Thank you so much.
Mordain,
Who are
first
they?
of all, are you okay? Secondly, did you see them? And thirdly, what was that row of books that we were on?
Uh, firstly, yes, I think I'm all right. Just some scrapes. Nothing that the university medics won't be able to handle. Secondly, they seem just like shadows, like corporeal shadows. It was the most bizarre thing. And thirdly, what row? What do you mean?
Like which what section was that? Was it a specific section of books, or was it
this one. This was the history of evocation rituals. And he like comes around the corner as you're talking to him about this, and he's like, oh my, oh no, what happened?
I'm so sorry. I felt my life was in danger, as was yours, and we were rushing to fight off those strange shadow enemies and get to you as soon as possible. If I could help you do anything to
Oh my goodness, so much
save
knowledge
you.
destroyed.
General feels terrible.
He seems, like genuinely distraught. He like
Yeah.
starts picking up books that look like they're still in decent shape and thumbing through them, and just works on all the whole looking books first.
Mordain, what happened to you? How did this all?
Well, I was shelving some research materials from other people coming down to the archives, and suddenly these shades just sprung from the darkness, grabbed me, and started to drag me off. And thankfully they hadn't covered my mouth, or I wouldn't have been able to scream for aid. And thankfully you were here.
I wonder where they were trying to take you.
I too. There's not really anywhere to go in the archives. We don't have any like places here. It's just the books and the one staircase.
Uggo's gonna
So-
lean in real close. Are you sure there's not a hidden door or stairs back over there?
Oh well, he like thinks real hard. I mean, the university has been around for a long time, and rumor, I guess you might say, tells us that it was constructed by some very powerful and very secretive mages. We have, in the past, discovered hidden chambers and, like, mysterious puzzles, and I'm currently under the impression, I guess, that no more of them remain here in the archive, that they've all been found. But I guess that there could be others.
They were dragging you over to the left, right?
It would have been to the right on the map. They were dragging him this way.
Oh.
Could we roll investigation? Just
Sure.
Or maybe would it be Arcana?
What do
just
you
to
what do
see
you
if
want to
there's-
learn?
I guess to see if there's any visible signs of tampering.
That's
of-
investigation.
Okay.
So he's like,
Right.
if you'd like to look, I will lead you to this direction.
Yeah, you two have better eyes than me. Go ahead and
Yes,
see.
I'm going to investigate to disbelieve the illusion.
Okay.
Nope.
Seems legit.
So if the creatures
Nice.
dragged you off,
All right. So, as the three of you start to move off to the right side here, he's leading the way. Seems like concerned and is like looking about, but he reiterates a couple of times that he really doesn't think there's anything left down here. And he seems, kind of genuine as far as your like passive insights would tell you. It seems like he's not hiding anything.
Yeah.
You're all looking around, and he does mention offhandedly, he's like, I really must say thanks once more. If any of you are injured or need assistance in any way, I'm sure the university medics would take care of it for free if you were concerned about costs of any kind. He continues to lead you onward. Notices that Genra especially is looking pretty bloody. You have a lower hit point pool. Though two of you took some deep cuts from the claws. Oh, you do look hurt. I'll call for the medics now. Surely they will take them some time to get down here.
No. Please lead on.
No. I'll send the servitors. I didn't mean to distract. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Like as you're walking, he claps and calls a servitor and says, "Please send several medics, some capable of magical healing immediately." And it runs off. Get it, dog. Run in here and then chew on yourself and then
Bite your
leave.
back. Yeah.
Yep, there he goes.
And then leave.
Mom, look, I got an itch. Okay, I'm done. Bye.
God.
All right. You head off into a far-flung section toward you, like you're getting towards the wall, and he's like, "Oh, well, I mean, part of me is glad that we've not found anything. I'd hate to think that there were more mysteries down here." And Genra like spots just a latent scrape from near one of the bookcases, implying that the bookcase moves.
Mm-hmm. Is this like on the ground or?
Yeah,
on the
you
actual
spot a
page?
small, like a very faint scrape along the stone that would line up with one of the edges of a bookcase nearby.
Got it. How? So I can't roll investigation again to see how it opens. I just
You
know that
can.
it opens.
I was giving you the opportunity to role play if there's something you wanted to do.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So like if you like continuing your investigation, you'll walk up and you'll spot the mechanism. But I'm telling you, as soon as you learned something, in case there was a reaction you wanted to have.
Yeah, and I do. Oh, there it is. Do you see that right down there? That is telling. I think this could open up.
The books.
Yes.
The two of you
Okay.
and he look, and none of you see it.
You can't see that.
Like
On the
she's
Are you
pointing right.
blind?
She's pointing right at it, and you guys like you look down, you get close, and you still don't see anything. It's only
Does my
after-
passive 15
It doesn't.
see anything?
No.
What?
This
I just
this
got-
was DC 20 to spot.
Okay.
So like you guys are looking and you see jack shit. It's only when you put a hand on the ground can you feel the faint, like just very tiny scratches on the stone, the grooves on the stone.
Wow. Genra, your eyes are incredible. It's dark in here too.
I mean, sometimes I do pretty well for myself.
Almost like you knew there was something there.
Yes, because I've totally been here before, Ugla.
Maybe in your dreams, maybe in your visions.
Maybe.
Very cool.
Well, I suppose we should open this, but I must warn everyone that, I mean, if he was trying to drag Mordain down this way, then perhaps there are more of him down there than there are up here, and we might not be in a condition in which we are ready to fight again, but
Yeah, but at least we'd be catching him off guard.
true.
Feel like if we walk away now that they know that we know where they are, they might leave, hide, reinforce themselves. I think we should
Indeed.
check it out.
Perhaps I will just summon some good berries and try to get back my health.
Maybe the medics will be here soon. Let's
Indeed.
crack this open. How does it open?
Genra, you're pretty sure that this is a kind of a complex magical, like a pseudo magical mechanical door. You have to pull several books in the right order, and then only then will the last book have magically attached itself to the latch.
So there's an order.
No, but you know the order too. Like you know all the answers. I'm just telling you enough flavor to let you
Oh,
RP if you
right,
want
right.
to.
Damn it. If everyone would just give me one moment, please don't touch anything. It seems that there is a certain particular mechanism and order, so allow me to open it, please. And then, yes, she's gonna open it.
Lycus and Ugla, roll insight. Okay.
Well,
All right then.
There's the roll.
Both of you note while Genra is like working out the order and the mechanism that that Mordain looks like visibly concerned.
Something wrong, Mordain?
Yes, I'm sorry. I know this is exciting finding mysterious hidden things in a magical place, but the contents of the archive are not only secretive but generally considered dangerous. I'm 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 not sure what might be behind there, but I am worried what might be behind there.
As are
Mordain,
we.
our shadows struck to kill, and yours only dragged you away.
Yes.
Why would
Why
they
would
want?
it drag you away?
Oh, that's a good question. I suppose I am the head librarian. I probably know the most about the contents of the archive, second only to the dean. Perhaps they needed my knowledge.
Can
Can I roll?
can we insight that?
Sure. Roll up to my section on the Mordain, so I know how he responds to all the things. Where you at, buddy?
Should I roll insight? Or
No, you're
am
busy
I
with the
busy?
thing.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Okay.
Freaking Mordain. Can't trust anybody.
Alrighty. You can definitely tell that he is like his concern seems legitimate. And his knowledge is in fact something he believes that he would be, like
Targeted
wanted for by nefarious people. You can tell he is like he's still nervous. He's probably hiding something. But as he just mentioned, he probably knows the most among anyone about what's going on here, and that concerns him.
Can you tell us what you think is going to be down here?
I truly don't know. I suspect if it was like some of the others in this area that it might be more like secretive tomes, dark rituals. I must insist that if there are books in here that you let me review them first. And any objects that we find, we will thoroughly investigate before anyone touches.
Mordain, if we find any books down there, I can't say we're going to let you read them first. There's just
We
way
are.
too many missing pages in the books that we've been combing through, and we have to get to the bottom of who's been tearing them out.
I've noticed that as well. It is quite concerning.
Have you raised your concerns to the dean?
I have. I mean, you're here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Once we do our job, though, of course, we'll be out of your hair.
Certainly. All right.
does Genra hear this whole conversation?
Yeah, you hear it. You're just
Okay.
lost in thought, so you're not really like responsive.
Okay.
All right. So you finish the last book. You pull on it, and it makes a mechanical kerthunk as the bookcase unlatches and frees itself to swing outward into the passage.
Oahe launches a fireball.
Of course he does. The entire tree university explodes, and you're all dead.
Yeah, we made it to the end.
Woo!
Owahe was the villain the whole
He
time.
was.
Exactly.
Elemental, you got
Notice
it.
Mordain never gave you his last name.
True.
Mhm.
Even though his last name is definitely Mordain.
The last name he wants you to believe.
Right. That's his alias.
Yeah, definitely a lie.
Okay.
And I guess the last question is, can you speculate why would someone do
I mean, through,
who has done this if you can think of any?
historically, the only that I could think of would be mages who might have been kicked out of the university. Who held some sort of grudge or ire against its faculty, I suppose. But we haven't actually had any sort of like malicious students or like rough ejections in decades. I mean, like students get ejected, but due to lack of aptitude, not any sort of malicious intent. The bookcase swings open, and you spot a dimly lit hallway with very light motes of magical light floating around as it in a very slow. It's kind of like someone cast the light spell on dust, and it's very soft and it floats very slowly as the um, bookcase swings open and airflow changes in the passage for the first time in who knows how long. Many of the motes of dust kind of rush outwards into the proper, like the archive space proper. It's kind of a pretty effect if it weren't in such an ominous area. Without the moats, after 20 feet or so, you see it kind of descends into darkness. But those of you with dark vision see that it continues on another 20 feet, and there appears to be some sort of door.
Okay. Ugla's going to almost reflexively grab the torch out of his backpack.
Okay.
Maybe like a comfort kind of thing, and hold it in front of him, even though it's probably not emitting any light. And start walking down the stairs towards the door. Doing his best to keep his eyes peeled for any traps or explosions or any shenanigans.
Are you proactively looking for traps, or are you just being alert?
He's scanning.
That does not answer my question. Are you proactively looking for traps, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. You roll a perception check. All right. Alrighty. Good times to be had ahead. Pull up the appropriate spells that I can ruin your days with.
Oh, good.
Oof.
Okay. Is everyone going? Ugla steps into the hallway. Is everyone else going?
Yes.
Lycus?
Yes, he proceeds.
All right.
Wait,
Sorry?
is Mordain coming with us?
Mordain is right behind Ugla. He still wants to be first to interact with the things. He thinks that's the only safe way to do this.
Got it. Okay, I wanted to make sure he was like at least ahead of one of us.
Okay.
And not sneaking around, skulking behind us.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. You all make your way forward, single file in the narrow passage. As you are hitting the halfway point, Ugla steps onto a tile that sinks down and makes a solid kerthunking. From the far end of the hall, so the door's like at the end, but on the left, at the far end, just a dead end. A rune lights up on one of the paving, on one of the building stones, and a sickly kind of grayish green beam blasts down the hallway.
It's gonna reflexively hold his shield up.
Okay. $15 does not hit Ugla. Um, it's like it slings itself down the hallway, but Ugla levels his shield and kind of ducks, and it seems to blast over the shield and dissipate onto the ceiling.
Oh, I should be watching my step there. Maybe Ginra, maybe you should help look for traps, or you do the
Sure.
spotting.
Definitely do that.
So it is single file. Genra, you're gonna have to move up front if you want to do this.
Could she get on my shoulders?
No, it's not tall.
Oh.
All right, Dinner's gonna just quickly speak to all of them. Well, I mean, I suppose I could get up there. I do have the best eyes, but I'm really not prepared for anything like that to come across. So we'd better hope my eyes and ears and everything is working up to par.
Yeah, you're right. Could she assist me with looking for traps?
No, because you take up basically the entire space, especially with your tower shield.
Yeah.
It,
Okay.
Ugla, why don't I take the lead so I can look for any traps and I can.
She could inspire someone, but she can't give someone advantage.
Okay. Go
And
for
then
it.
I can
like
try to disable them. Yeah.
All right. The Lycus
And
moves up front.
Ugla's gonna go ahead and he realizes that how deadly that beam looked, and he's just going to put his hand on his heart and just pump himself
Lay
for
some hands.
lay on hands. Yeah.
Oh shit! All right. Go ahead and roll some inspiration dice, because why not?
And then he's gonna look at.
Wait, how do I do that?
No, he does it. You give him inspiration. He rolls 1d6.
Got it.
All right, 27.
Didn't get over a 30.
No, darn. All right. Yes, you do spot another trap. Nearing the end of the hallway, there's another tile that looks a little too loose. And you spot the unlit like scrapings outlines of another rune on the back wall.
Could you sing a little ditty for my concert?
Sure. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
There's a trap over here. It'll help while I'm trying to work my way around it. He pulls out some various little tools and
What
picks
to
and things.
inspire him again?
All right, well, I wasn't really asking for the type of music you wanted to listen to, but there's a trap
Anything.
there, there's a trap over here, there's a
Ah.
trap over there, and
What a
it's
beautiful song.
everywhere.
All right.
And
So that's your third inspiration. You're out of inspirations for today.
That was a very inspiring one, though.
It was quite inspiring. 2 points of inspiring effect.
Was that the third inspiration?
Yeah, because she inspired. She just did it twice, and she did it once earlier in today.
Okay.
Okay. So you step forward over. Well, are you trying to disarm the rune or the flagstone?
Which one would be easier or harder?
You are more familiar with arcane than mechanical. In this.
Okay, we'll go with the rune.
All right. So you step over the loose flagstone, pointing it out to your allies.
Thank you.
And pull out a sharp knife and cut through the rune at the appropriate location in order to make it inoperable. All right. You are standing at a door.
I check the door for any more trap.
It does not appear to be trapped, though it does appear to be locked.
Mordain, have you got any keys?
I do, but not for not for any hidden doors. I've got the keys to the bathroom and the keys to the staircase.
Well, damn.
Ginner's gonna try and pick that lock.
Oh, Gendra's gonna step forward and try and pick the lock. All right. Okay. Both of you give it a go, and Lycus, yours is so disappointing that you end up breaking one of your picks.
Ooh.
Mine's not that much better.
Y'all having trouble with that door?
What was that?
Y'all having some trouble with that door?
It appears
It-
so.
Genra, you take a stab at it.
She already did.
So
I didn't see a dice roll.
Oh, hers is above yours, and it was a 10.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't feel as strong as I did this morning. Those shades really got to me a little bit, but I'm gonna try and kick the lock mechanism in. Maybe we can just smash that door open.
What's the door made of?
Wood.
Lycus is going to take one more stab at a thieves' tool.
Okay. You if you roll low here, you break your toolkit. Break your toolkit.
Break my toolkit. Which is fine. He'll make another one tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
You
That's
take your
enough
last
tinkering.
try. You feel when you break off this pick, you feel it jam inside the lock. You don't think there are any more tries at unlocking this door.
All right, time's up. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, Kool-Aid.
Douglas stretches his left leg out appropriately,
Mhm.
a little side to side. Gets about, I don't know, 6 paces from the door, and goes to do a little running sidekick right at the lock on it.
Okay. You're in a narrow hallway. You're gonna like run up and then spin. Is that your plan?
No, just twist.
Okay.
Twist your body and just to put all your weight into your foot sideways.
All right. I'm gonna say like your momentum is forward, but you need to kick
You-
left.
I probably can't turn sideways that well.
Right.
Okay, so no, he'll just put his heel into it really hard, run straight on.
Okay. You back up the like one pace you can fit since you're in the end of a 5-foot hallway, and just slam your heel. Are you going for the lock or are you trying to break the door?
Going for the lock, trying to just smash it open.
Okay. Roll strength.
Since it's wood, so it's open.
I'm going to guidance him.
Okay. Guided. So it's roll strength plus 1d4.
Yeah, -2.
-2. Nice
Okay.
roll. Add your 1d4. Alrighty.
Ooh.
25.
25.
Yeah, you aim an extremely well placed kick right at the lock, and this ancient wood. It actually not only does it you hear the lock break, you see the entire metal fixture just pop out and fall into the room on beyond.
Yeah, that was my lock picking tool. It's going in.
We're going to use his foot more often.
No
Genra.
kidding. All right, you
Actually, Uggla's gonna be trying to be smart about this. Hey, I know we made a lot of noise, but looks like I knocked the lock out. Ginra, you want to take a peek in there before we go in?
Sure.
Or Lycus, you can see in the dark, right?
they both can. Oh no, Lycus
Wait.
can't.
Like it. Wait.
Lycus can,
Oh,
Genra
Genra
cannot.
can't. Oh, Genra flies. I keep forgetting who does what.
Yeah, just put your eye up to that hole. Tell me what you see before I bust in there.
Lycus look.
All right. It looks like a very small study. Like there are 2 very dilapidated looking bookcases. You see what looks like book bindings, but a lot of them look damaged even from here. There's a heavy leather chair that has fallen into ruin, and a small side table that is also collapsed next to the heavy chair. On the far end, there is a kind of like a nightstand or a low cupboard. If
I don't see anything.
if it were in good shape, you'd call this someone's personal study.
Nothing looks
It
dangerous.
looks like an old, dilapidated study. There's not. I don't see anything alive.
All right, go take a peek. See if we can find anything useful. Nuggle will reach over Lycus and push the door open.
Okay. The door swings open loudly on rusted hinges. The room is in complete darkness, so Genra, you can't see it at all. Ugla and Lycus, you spot most of what I saw, or what I said already. You see 2 bookshelves with that look like they are, moments from collapsing. a broken leather armchair, a broken side table, and a low cupboard that is still standing, but in a similar shape to, or is like similar, dilapidation as the bookshelves. The ceiling is stone, and but looks like mossy, like as if there is or at one point was a water leak.
All right, want to poke around the cupboard, the desk, try and preserve some of these old books. What do y'all
Old
think?
old books, you say? Please, I know you're hesitant, but be very careful. I must insist on at least looking at them with you. If you don't trust me, I understand, but I wouldn't want you falling victim to some old magician's tricks.
Magician's tricks. You think
I'm
they'd
rolling
be...
insight.
Seems genuinely concerned about the contents of the room.
Okay.
Hearing him say magician's tricks about books definitely sparks something ugly. He's gonna look at him real close again too.
Seems genuinely concerned about the contents of the room.
Magician's tricks. You think maybe some of the books can harm you when you open them?
Yes. Mages would, especially their own personal spell books, would lay traps.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. Yeah, we're in the same room as you, so obviously, if you tried any shenanigans, we'd be able to watch. You go ahead and get started on taking care of the books. Genra, Lycus, y'all want to check out the cupboard and the desk?
Sure.
And
Sounds
Uggla's
good.
just like, pretty much be like hip to hip with Mordain. And yeah, pretty much hip to hip with Mordain and try and like pay very close attention to what he's doing.
Okay. So, are everyone's going in the room?
Yes.
Oh,
You all enter the small chamber. Genra, you can't see shit. What are you doing?
oh.
Just
I'll light a torch.
As soon as you pull out a torch, Mordain's like, no fire!
No what?
No fire!
what? Why no fire?
Books! Old wood! Dust!
Here, let me help. Lycus takes out a ball bearing, taps it a couple of times with its hammer, and it generates light out to 5 feet.
You got a candle.
Yep.
Okay.
Hands it to Genra.
Genra, you can fill your own square with light and still see nothing beyond.
Damn.
I mean, she could still investigate something, right?
If she got real close to it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's bright light 5 feet, dim light additional 5.
Okay, so you've got actual candle, not tiny candle. Okay, yeah, you have a small amount of light, and then due to the light itself, night blindness beyond that. You could like walk next to something and not bump into it. Feel reasonably stable.
So she's gonna try to move. Like, how big is this room?
It's like 15 by 15.
Okay, so it's not super big. She's gonna try to move, into the middle, or at least in as far as she can to where she can see that wall in front of her. if that
Sure.
makes sense.
All right, so you move in basically 10 feet, and then you've got like one more square, and you can see the wall beyond.
Yeah. Where's the desk in relation to where she's been? Is it on one of the other walls? I assumed, like, just visualizing it, it was like straight ahead.
I will
Since
just
they can see it.
draw the room.
Okay.
All right. These are the two shelves. Bookshelf. Collapsed leather chair, like here. Broken side table. And not quite broken low cupboard. And door.
And a
So
desk?
she should
There was
be
no
able
desk.
to-
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, why did we think there was a desk?
I don't know.
I guess hearing the word study made me think of broken desks.
Okay. I guess so. When she moved into the room, she would potentially be able to see those bookcases that she passed by, right?
So, like from the center square of the room, you can see the whole room. It's just that the edges are in heavy shadow.
Yeah. Okay. She's gonna move towards the far bookcase.
Okay.
And just try to get closer to it so she can kind of review what's on it. If it looks like it's got a ton of dust on it, just try to figure out, if anybody's touched it recently, or if in fact it takes you somewhere else, if there's some sort of, mechanism for it to open or something.
Okay. Is that 11 investigate?
Yeah.
All right. From as far as you can tell, given the shadowy illumination you're suffering under, the room seems to have laid undisturbed for an untold amount of time. The only thing that really strikes your interest is not anything I've drawn here, but actually the ceiling.
I was just gonna ask about that next.
Right. Roll intelligence. In fact, all of you roll intelligence. I'll even roll it for Mordain. All right. Ella's smart. Everybody but Ugla. Ugla's still pretty smart.
Slightly smarter than average.
Indeed, smarter than average. Everybody but Ugla takes stock of the room, but your attention is drawn to the ceiling. Gut instinct is probably telling you that this study might not have been closed for nefarious reasons, but due to water damage.
Oh, okay. Huh. Does it, can we hear anything? Does
You
it
don't
sound
see any dripping water, and there's no water on the floor, so it
Okay.
might be that there used to be a water leak.
Okay.
Or maybe it only leaks when it rains and it's not raining.
Yeah. Huh. So, is there an opening of some sort in the ceiling, like a crack that we can notice? There's
I mean,
just
it's
nothing.
it's a stone room, so there are many cracks.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's been water damage, and that's all I can assess at this point. Nothing really strikes me as certainly nefarious, but
Mordain pipes up. Yes, I would. It does look that way. Some of the hidden chambers we found all over the university have been quite mundane, to be honest. Maybe we got lucky and unlucky in that way this time as well.
Maybe the Shades wanted you to read one of the books in here, though.
Maybe.
Maybe you shouldn't read them for that reason.
Perhaps. I will stand behind, and if any of you peruse a tome, I will only look over your shoulder to ensure that there are no traps or magical misgivings.
Yeah, I'm a little bit spooked about the whole idea of magic books. Maybe we should,
If
take
you're worried about magic books, we can learn about that. Surely your friend, the goose, or this fox, do you know detect magic?
I do.
I have it as I can do the ritual, but if you have the spell prepared, we could save time.
yep. Do it.
Very well.
Do it.
You cast detect magic.
I'll cast it. Yeah.
Okay. A couple of things do light up. The low cupboard is holding an aura. The cupboard itself is not magical, but something inside is. Several pieces or streaks of the moss on the ceiling are magical, as well as 2 of the books among the shelf.
He'll point out the books and the cupboard, and he's gonna look up at the ceiling for a moment and try to make sense of what the streaks are saying, if they're erected in some sort of fashion or they're trying to write something.
Okay.
Did you point out the cupboard?
Yes.
Ugla's gonna go over and just open it up and take a look inside.
All right, bold. The school that is like lightly emanating from the moss, Lycus, is transmutation.
Hmm.
Okay.
If you'd like to study, you can roll Arcana.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, Ugla interpreted your point as a take a look at it.
So go look
So,
at that. Go check that
right.
out. All right. So for the next like minute or so, Lycus is examining the ceiling. After at the end of the minute, Lycus, you'll discover that these appear to be like oddly like streaks of the plant growth spell. Plant growth is usually a thing that affects a large area of plants. And it's not even affecting the whole ceiling here. Just like little lines of it that happen to line up with a couple of the crevices of the stone blocks. Roll alchemy tools. Absolutely. You put two and two together that this moss might actually be the result not of a water leak, but of a potions leak. From somewhere up above. All right, so that's you got a minute to mess everything up, Ugla. You walk over to the low cupboard and open it up straight away. Inside, you spot 3 bottles or decanters, something like that. This looks like a a whiskey cupboard or a spirits cupboard. There's a small crystal decanter, a finely crafted but otherwise plain glass decanter, and a short, kind of like dark glass that looks to have been blown in the shape of a very small cask, but it's definitely glass.
Oh, interesting. Lycus, you might be interested in this.
Lycus is lost in thought, staring at the ceiling.
There's some strange potions in here. Ugla has no clue what to make of any of that, so he'll just leave it to the alchemist.
Okay.
And he'll waltz on over to Mordain, who I assume is investigating the magic books that were pointed out.
Could I roll Arcana to check out one of those books?
Sure. Without having casted detect magic yourself, you're not even sure which ones he was pointing at, and so you start looking at the bindings and hoping to spot something that like tells you it's one of the magic ones. You can't find it. Mordain is like very very carefully piecing through one of the 2 bookshelves. So let's say the lower one, while Lycus is closer to the center, looking at the ceiling. So he's down here. Green. Yeah.
So Ugla's going to rejoin his Mordain investigation.
All right. So Ugla steps up behind Mordain. He's really like he's not even really looking at the magic book. He's really looking at all the books, trying to figure out if any and how many are even serviceable. He like looking over his shoulder, looks like most of them are probably damaged beyond repair. He's poking at some that look like they have a solid binding, but then discovering that the pages inside have been destroyed.
Yeah. If anybody knows like whether or not a book's recoverable, to the head librarian of
Right.
William.
So he does pull a couple of them out and set them aside very gingerly, mumbling to himself like, "Oh, this one might even be legible." And then he pulls one out and, "Oh, I expect this one will fall apart, but we'll give it a go." Mumbling. Finally, this was the one he pointed out as magical. He turns around to look and sees you and says, "Mr. Ugla, was it?"
Yeah.
I wouldn't want you to think anything nefarious was going on. I'm going to pull out one of the magical books.
Yeah. Is it safe to take a look at it?
I'm truly not certain, but sometimes there's not a good way to discover it. I will ask Mr. Lycus to ascertain its aura here once he's done. And Lycus finally is like, "Oh, potions." And focus returns to the room. Mr. Lycus,
Yes.
Are you still detecting magic? Could you tell me
Oh, yes.
what aura this book carries?
Check the order.
It is necromancy.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a necromancy tome. It might.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
So if you open it up, it might suck your soul out.
Oh, I suppose necromancy has many uses. It's not just soul sucking and undead, but that does consume a good portion of its options.
How strong is the aura?
Quite.
Quite strong.
Um,
So
if you'd like to roll
relay that.
Arcana, you can, but you'll have to roll quite high. 13. Yeah, it's in fact it's much stronger than you're capable of. But what that means, like on like levels wise, you're not sure.
Does Lycus's face, like, how is Lycus
Yeah.
responding to looking at this?
Lycus, how do you react? Does your body language change? Do you say anything?
Yeah, his face contorts and he frowns a little.
Is it safe to look at?
It's a quite strong aura. I'm not sure how strong.
Strong necromancy. I don't think it's worth the risk. I think we'll have to save this for later under safer conditions.
Agreed.
Oh, but
This feels very very particular in the direction of one professor of necromancy.
Nightseed. No, I mean, I suppose perhaps, but I mean, as we can see, the room itself has been unused for who knows how long.
Sure, but
And while she is talented at the theoretical necromantic arts, I would not call her a powerful mage.
so
interesting.
any powerful mages capable of this level of magic?
I'm not looking at it myself, so I really couldn't guess.
Man, I got an idea. Maybe we can have one of the skeleton assistants open it up. So if it's booby trapped, or can do something crazy. I mean, it's a skeleton already, right?
Perhaps, yes.
That would be a
Doesn't
good.
look like-
That would be good.
But first, the other book, right?
Yep.
Yes. And is there any writing on that
On the first one?
on the necromancy book?
No writing. There is a picture, or maybe like a pictogram, but it's not in. But it's more like it's a pictogram. It's in a like an older language that doesn't really make a lot of sense to the naked eye.
Could I try to roll intelligence to see if?
Sure.
Sure.
You make out a couple of the symbols. You make some like what you feel like are reasonable guesses. It definitely depicts something about the like a person and their essence.
It's an advertisement for shampoo.
Perfect.
It's something about essence of souls.
Oh goodness, I'm very glad we didn't open it then.
All right, let's have one of the servants open it.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Again.
The other book then. I suppose before even touching it, what is its aura, Mr. Lycus?
Yes.
You look over and you look over and spot a very thin tome, barely the size of a journal among many destroyed books. This one has a divination aura.
That one's divination. He'll point out which one to Genra.
Genra looks
And
outside
then
and talks to Jeffrey.
Okay. And what's the other book?
There were only two magic books.
Right.
Okay.
It's divination and what?
Divination and
Oh,
necromancy. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, that one right there is a divination book.
Oh,
And
Oh, well,
that might be safer.
that's it could be much safer. Yes, most divinations are, at worst, confusing. Very rarely dangerous.
what's the strength of the aura?
Um, it looks, how to describe? It looks powerful, but in the sort of way that it was powerful. Now it's waned or waning.
Okay. So it's discharged and may have already done what it's going
Well, I
to.
guess you want to get it.
Yeah, and I think that one, yeah, can maybe go ahead and open this one up.
If
Yeah.
you feel it's safe, yes. I don't see why
Yeah,
not.
I believe it is.
Okay. You very carefully move the thin journal-like volume to the center of the area. You don't really have anything to put it on, so he holds out his hands to use as a base, and you can very gingerly open the cover. There's no writing on the front or on the sides. Not even a title on the binding. This is looking more and more like a journal rather than an actual like book or something printed on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And you open up you gingerly open the front cover. The first page has been destroyed by time, but on the second page you see a like a kind of a pseudo title, I guess, and it says the oracular predictions of one Misa Miriam. And that's where we'll end the session tonight, according to my phone.
Yay! It's midnight.
It is late. All right, pals, and those of you out there on the internet, we appreciate you and your time. We hope you had a great time. We hope you enjoyed D&D, and we will see you next Tuesday. Goodbye, everyone.
Can that be like the first word?
You don't need a kill.